Wow, this frosting is delicious. Shut up and sit down. If you like. I don't use them. It's really good. That's Ooh, welcome to Chick Chat Comedy Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, we have such a good show today. First of all, my name is Patty Rossborough. We're eating cake in honor of one of our guests, which we will get to. My name is Patty Rossborough. I'm here with my beautiful co-host, who's looking fabulous today. Harry Karavis. Someone's phone needs to be turned down.
Thank you, Patty.
Harry Karavis. And then we have two fantastic guests. One is back by popular demand. He was on our highest rated show we ever had. Double of
40
the other-
people.
No, we had you. Actually, your live show reached 2,000, and other shows have only gone up to 1,000. So your
Even Marling's show.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
doubled.
sad.
You doubled the highest
Sad
of
but
any
true.
other show. Okay, so you are back.
All right.
And then with him, to bolster the ratings again,
Joe bolstered the rating.
Joe Bolster. That's right. You guys used to do. Did you do improv with him?
Well, yeah, he
At the
was
comic
in,
strip.
My improv group, our
Yeah.
improv group.
Yes.
The improv group.
Yes. Steve Shaffer is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. And we are here at the comic strip, and Adam Hineker is our
Sound
guy,
man.
our sound man. And it is Danny's birthday, so we have cake here.
Yeah.
But the only people eating the cake is Carrie and me.
I'm eating a little.
You're eating a little, but Danny, whose birthday it is,
Danny boy.
why aren't you eating the cake,
He
Danny?
didn't offer me any.
Should have got him
Here,
a
come here.
scotch, you mother effer.
I know, that's all he wants.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
wants the booze. Here, this is
Trust me,
delicious.
I was
This is cheesecake with
so worried on the bus
something.
trying to get in here. It was bumper to bumper. I'm like, I'm
Here,
not gonna
here's a
make
spoon.
it. I got it. Thanks.
Oh, you got it? Okay,
He
beautiful.
wants a fork.
For the picture that we have that you sent me, I put on Twitter with you with the long red
yeah,
hair.
did you put that
in
on
high
there?
school? Well, I put it on. Yeah, it's a picture of you. It's him from the back, and his red hair goes all the way down to his ass.
Wow.
It
You
was- he
still
was like
have that hair, man.
Yeah, what is it with that
You see
hair?
the picture?
You have good hair
Yeah.
too.
I
the
got
two of you.
hair. It's actually feminine, right?
They say it's low testosterone
Right.
to have a lot
and
of
I
hair.
I have no testosterone. So
Oh,
can't-
really? Is
can't
that what it
discount
is?
the breasts and the.
Well,
half a
my
vagina
husband's
either.
bald, and he's got no testosterone.
Remember, I got my hair cut from my
that's what
father
you
for
call an
Christmas.
anomaly.
'Cause he always hated it. You know?
Wait, you cut all that long hair when you were in high
Off,
school?
Like completely off.
Why?
For a gift from my father because he
Oh,
always
that was
hated
nice.
it.
But
And,
you know-
and I come home and he's like, I knew you were gonna do that. Thanks, Dad. Surprise to you too.
What do you mean he knew? How did he know?
I have no idea.
You know what I've noticed about redheaded men? Either they try to pretend they're not redheaded. You know what I mean? Like you're a ginger your whole life, so you get kidded your whole life about being a ginger. But I noticed that a lot of redheaded guys just fucking go with it. They grow the hair out, like all these guys in sports. They all have long,
I
crazy
was
red
strawberry
hair.
blonde, all right? Easy with this redhead
I
stuff.
think you were a red. You were a redhead, for God's sakes. But Amy, Steve,
Patty, don't you have a joke about a penis with red pubic hair?
Yes, she
yeah,
does.
that's the joke that got
Yes, she does.
that made Louis C.K. call me a cunt and Bill Burr call me a cunt.
Right, because
So-
you
The
said
sun
the
will
sun
come
will
out
come out
Tomorrow, and they didn't like following that joke. So
Wow.
Really?
I've been called the C word by many comics.
But they
Who
meant it
cares?
facetiously. They weren't actually mad at you.
But does it really
Um,
matter?
You would have to have been in the room when Louis C.K. He didn't just say it like a joke.
He
He said,
kept going and
he
going.
kept going
and
and going. I want you to choke on my cock, and I want you to.
Yeah, but it's
It
a
was
little
unbelievable.
cock. How can I choke on a
Wow,
little
that's
cock?
He
weird.
went on, and I want you. My pubes are going to be shoved into your. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I guess he was being funny. You know, if
Because I'm
Just
sure
like
it's
a-
a funny bit. And
Just like
they
it's been funny to those girls.
couldn't possibly.
yeah, hilarious. Steve Shaffer is my first comedy teacher.
Ugh.
Really?
At the new school. Remember?
What year
Yeah,
was that?
The new school.
That was 35 years ago. 35 years ago, was it?
4?
Maybe. And I took the class in the
What
very.
year?
84, I think.
Graduated high school.
Ah,
That's so
In
embarrassing.
83.
That is so fucking embarrassing.
Yeah.
And the first day of class, you said, we were sitting there and you go, oh, welcome to my class. I just want you to know that I am not going to be able to teach you how to be funny.
oh, good.
And I remember sitting there thinking, well, then what the hell am I here for? He's not going to teach me how to be funny? And you're like, you're either funny or you're not. And that's like, right? Do you
That's
think
not
that's true?
Well, I thought it was. I still.
I
what were
taught
you
a
gonna
lot
teach
of unfunny people how
And you
to
made
be
them funny?
Yes.
Who? Name one.
Yeah.
Give me a name.
Oh, God. Let me think.
You made an unfunny person funny. That's what you did.
That is what she said.
I've,
That's godlike. I'd like to
beefed
point that
up
out.
their stand-up material.
Well, you can make anybody technically tell
yes.
a joke.
Okay, yeah, no,
better
you
than
can't make them like, hey,
no.
delivery.
I mean, you can't help them find their soul. I don't think they have to find it themselves.
What's your W.C. Fields line that you say?
I forget.
Oh, I'll tell you because I just read it. It's in your Wikipedia or something.
Oh shit!
It said what W.C. Fields said: if you're not funny by the time you're
10.
10, you're never going to be funny.
Yeah, I think that's true. It's like music. You kind of are born with it, and it's so easy to be funny. It looks so simple. You see somebody on stage, oh, he's telling a joke. It's not that easy. Try and do it.
Yeah,
Get
yeah.
up and try and do it.
Oh, everybody thinks they could be funny.
Everybody.
I know people.
Oh, I could do that.
Danny, have you ever seen anybody start out not? Danny's from. Actually, Danny managed Rascals in West Orange, right? And you've seen every fucking buddy for how many years did you do it?
20.
20. Who wasn't funny and then became funny? Anybody? Or who was
top of
funny
my
and then was
head.
not funny?
I mean, there's a few amateur comics that started out there that eventually rose up. Don MacArthur, Gary
Don MacArthur.
Ewing.
Oh,
know,
Gary Ewing?
They all started doing stand-up there as open micers.
And were they not funny in the beginning?
No.
Well,
Not at all.
nobody's funny.
Well,
in the
Chris
beginning.
Rock wasn't funny.
They were
He
doing
sucked in
the
beginning.
same 5 minutes every single Tuesday night. I'm going, guys, it didn't work last week. Okay, it's not going to work this week for 5 minutes either. But those are two guys that definitely went on to something.
They got. You're so generous. He went on to something. But I do think that either you're funny or you're not. Right? You're just your personality or something, right, Carrie?
No, I also said don't come back to my class. Right? Remember, I said don't just take this one class as an introduction to kind of get your feet wet, but don't stay in class. It's not an academic exercise.
I had a
Actually-
It's a
student come back
practical
9
That is
times.
true. Huh?
Sorry.
I had a student come back 9 times to 9. Like
Who? Look, I always want names.
Yeah, no, you
Terry McNeely.
Oh, and is
she
he
gives
funny
them.
now?
Very.
Okay, so then it worked.
Yeah.
No, but you were the one. You said it's not what you do in this class. Get out there and get up in front of an open mic, and that's what I did. Went to Yale.
Well, that
Triple
was
N,
the
and I
teachings in
bombed.
1984.
Now I see things were different back in the old days. In the olden days.
2009.
In the old timey days.
And you also were the one who said you brought a bunch of us to the comic strip. This is the first time I was ever in here.
Okay.
And you went on stage, and you were hilarious. And then Abby Stein went on stage, and you said, "Oh, you got to watch Abby Stein. She's a girl. She's the only girl on the show."
It's true.
And she was hilarious.
Right, Abby was wonderful.
And the guy heckled her right up front before she got her first joke out. And she said, "Oh, I see." She goes, "You're just pissed because my nose is bigger than your dick."
Absolutely.
And I was like, Abby Stein, I want to be I
love Abby Stein.
I
I
just
loved her.
thought, I know,
God rest her soul,
She
by
died
the
of
way.
cancer. Yeah.
May I say something?
Go ahead, please.
I was telling Jeannie, I'm not just saying this because I'm here, you were the funniest person
Oh, you're very nice.
I saw back in the day. You got up on stage and you owned it. You were alive. You were goofy, which I loved.
You are goofy.
You embraced. I love Goofy as well, very much.
What do you mean worse? She's amazing
Wonderful.
now.
I didn't think I was
She-
insulting her. I
yeah.
really didn't.
No,
She-
you're
yes,
not.
yes.
Thank you. That
She
was very
is-
sweet. I take
I
that
do
as a
have to say
compliment.
that because she doesn't believe it herself, but she is probably one of the funniest, strongest female comedians
I am a little insecure.
You think you might
today.
believe it after 25 years,
You're like the best. I watched
And
you.
that's how I feel about
I
Ca-
watch
about
you on stage, and I'm like, oh my god, she's like,
Well, it didn't surprise me. Is all I'm saying that you were on stage and doing well so quickly.
And also you also showed me Sam Kennison.
That's right.
I was here at the bar at the comic strip, and you said you have to come in and see this guy. You're not going to believe it, and you said the commitment he has. Anyway, so that was a good thing too. But anyway,
Interesting guy. Have a couple of Kinnison stories.
Oh, give me
mean-
one.
I
Let's
didn't-
hear some Kennison. We did some last time that Danny gave us.
Oof.
What do you got?
Well, we knew each other fairly well. We were back at the Comedy Store one night and smoking a little marijuana.
You
And
still a
he-
fan of the marijuana?
I do. I indulge on occasion.
medical reasons.
That's the only thing. I'm in such pain emotionally. And he invited me back to, they had that big house where Mitzi
Oh,
kept
yeah,
all
yeah.
the comics. And we
Yep.
went back, and I sat at the head of the table. I'm a little high, and there's booze everywhere, and there's smoke everywhere, and his minions are gathering around. He comes at the end of the table with two girls, twins. He just appears. It seemed like he just appeared, sat at the head of the table. One poured him a drink, one rolled him a joint, the other one gave him a snort of coke, and he looked at me and said, "Dr. Shaffer, your soul is negotiable." and it scared the shit out of me.
Wow. Wow.
That's my Sam story.
I love it. Now,
I remember those twins he palled around with.
Right?
Was this in 1985?
This was about 86, 7,
But
maybe.
that wasn't the
87.
sisters, though.
that wasn't the,
They were
the one he
that
married.
wasn't
No,
Malika
they
and
were
Sabrina.
No, they were
twins.
twins.
They
I
were.
remember
Okay.
him hanging around with twins because I used to hang out at the Comedy Store all the time from 85 to 88.
And what were they, his girlfriends? Like both of them would
They
sleep with
were,
him?
yes.
But how can you can you imagine as a sister?
It's right. I
You
agree.
have a sister.
I'm
Well,
with
Well,
you
look,
the
you
same
know,
guy?
when you're a twin, if somebody's fucking one twin, the other one feels it in her snatch.
Wow, I never knew that. That's,
Well-
that's brand new.
Then he went on to sisters, but they were twins, so I don't know if that makes it
Yeah,
any
that
better.
was the one he married.
know.
Marika.
Malika.
Malika.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then he dropped the one and then married the other one, right? Is
No,
that
I
how
don't
it-
think he ever married Sabrina. I don't think.
No, he married Malika.
He married
Well,
Malika, yeah.
if they all look alike, right? They probably were like, look, I'm not in the mood to fuck him tonight. Why don't you take over? And he wouldn't have known the difference.
He was so hot when he died. He was like
Yeah.
the hottest comic in the
Yeah.
country, and people were attracted to him. I'll tell you this: he was the most charming
Yep.
He was very charming.
person off stage
Yes.
that you'll ever meet.
Yep.
Yes, women loved him, even though
I
mean,
liked
if you
Not
look at
sexually.
him and you say, well, is
Not
this
the
an
best
attractive
looking.
man?
No, he looked like Captain Caveman.
Yeah, the head, the hair, the whole
Body.
package was terrible. But he was so charming. He
And
could charm
funny.
his way.
But he
Yeah.
was just a sweet off stage. He was
He
sort
was
of
sweet.
He gave you eye contact.
Right.
He wanted
Yep.
to know who you were. He asked about you. He didn't just talk about
Oh, yeah.
himself. He was charming.
I know.
And then he's on stage.
I know, and he was scary.
And
Yes.
he was. He knew how to perform, and he knew how to do it.
Well, it was weird because
Extraordinary time.
when he was on what was it, HBO or whatever, and he had Jessica Hahn on her knees with a thing, a leash on her
Dog
neck and
collar,
all
yeah.
this. All the women were upset. They're like, "This is sexist." I mean, yes, of course it was terrible. It was very sexist.
God.
But I remember thinking, I can't believe
did
that's
that.
what he's doing on stage. When off stage, he was actually very sweet about
Very,
women and very
very
sweet
much.
to women. So it was a little confusing.
It wasn't just other comics and whatnot. He used
It
to
was
sit
an
down
act.
with the staff at Rascals
Right.
and
he
be
was
as
a
sweet as can be to
regular-
them.
Right.
They used to hang
A
around with him
charming
all the
guy.
time. You know.
They say the devil is charming.
That's true. He did father a child that was his best friend. You know who? But
But I mean, he had his moments. I mean, a friend of mine roomed there, Mark King. I don't know if anybody remembers
I don't
Mark
know
King.
Mark
He's a
King.
Great actor. He was an actor. He wasn't a stand-up, but a funny guy. And he was in the same apartment with Sam, and they apparently were nose to nose, ready to fight, according to Mark.
Mark
That's-
King and Sam
Sam
Kinison.
Kinison.
Over what?
Don't recall, but it came to blows almost because
Really?
of something that at the time I remember thinking really innocuous, not that important, but both of them had tempers. I think he had.
You know, it's
Didn't
funny.
he
I
fight
read
with,
that
with
Tennyson worked.
Dice? He
there
fought
was
with Dice
There
a
was
little
some
bit,
sort of
too.
controversy between those two, but I don't know if they ever.
It never came to
Had
blows.
fist-
No, not a
fisticuffs.
fist fight because Andrew's not a fighter, but
I don't feel like either of them could fight.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Sam Kinison throwing a punch?
I took the Dice last week
You did?
just through like messaging.
How is he? What's he up to?
He's got his own podcast coming out now, and
Oh, he
he
does?
feels great about it because he said there's no suits to tell him what to do and how to do this and whatnot. He's going to be in the movie A Star Is Born. He's in that.
Oh, you're kidding me. When is
Yeah.
he playing that?
He
I
plays
actually want to see that with Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga's father. He plays.
Lady Gaga's father.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
There you go.
But did they ever have like fights did he ever say stuff when he was at Rascals about
Never even
Sam
heard his
or-
name mentioned when Dice was there.
Oh, really?
Never even heard it mentioned.
So that was just
No.
a manufactured fight, you think?
Listen, you got two guys that are on the top of the world. There's going
At
to
the
be
time,
some kind
yeah.
of commotion there
Yeah.
between the two of
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
I remember
You
them
know.
on Stern.
It's a
Well,
little bit over
Stern was
material,
always-
I think. There was a material thing.
Oh,
yeah.
so they thought he
Excuse me.
stole?
But
Yeah,
there
no.
was some kind of a material
Who stole?
Yeah.
dice.
Dice stole
Obviously.
from-
And
Well-
they said Dice stole Otto and George's stuff.
Yes, the
too,
Hickory Dickory
you know?
Dock.
You know, Danny knows everything and everybody.
I know, you
What a-
really
what a
do.
coup, getting
Well,
Danny.
it was
love it.
funny when I was talking to you one time when I said something about John Fox. You said you didn't know him, and I'm thinking, what do you mean you don't know
It's
him?
been a
What-
long time
what do
ago,
you-
Dan.
Yeah, but you said you didn't know him, and I'm like, what do you mean? And you said, well, I headline every place, and he headlines every place.
Well, I guess
so we
So
never
how would
met.
you know?
You know, and I'm going,
Right,
wow,
right,
I'm lucky as can be. I've met them all. You know, I
Right,
see him
that's
every single
true.
week.
That's true.
You know,
John Fox. I didn't know who John Fox was until I worked with him, and then that was
you
the one
were
where
there
he
that
was
one time.
completely
I don't know if Steve ever heard this
shit-faced
story. It
and
was so
sneaking.
funny. I wouldn't allow him to drink before a show. Okay.
Okay,
I'd let him
makes
have a
sense.
shot and a beer before he went up.
One,
Okay.
we told him.
Shot and a beer before he went. And that was all I'd allow because he ruined a couple shows being too drunk.
I can see that.
So one time I'm sitting in the office doing work, and he's going, "Come on, I'm on in 5 minutes." I said, "Okay, we'll tell the bartender to give you a drink." And he's like, "They won't do it unless you come out there and give me okay."
That's right.
That's hilarious.
And it was
That's
true.
That's right.
So I write him a note.
No.
Listen to this. I write a note that says, "Please give John Fox a drink,"
Yeah.
and I signed it.
Of course.
Oh my
He went
God,
to
he
the copy
kept.
machine and he copied it like 10 times.
Boy. Very resourceful.
Yes, and walked around to all the
He was-
bartenders.
he was
Oh
very
my
resourceful.
God, that's
And
hysterical.
I
Got himself a
remember,
drink.
was his name not Eric? Who was the one, Drew, who could get angry? I think it
Oh,
was
yeah.
Drew. He looks at me, he goes, "What's wrong with you? You drunk?" And he goes, "No." He goes, "What are you on coke? Are you on coke?" He goes, "Look at you. You're a fucking mess. You're on coke." And he had a second show to do, and he's just sitting there all
In
like,
2 seconds,
oh,
he had exploded.
it
You're
was-
crazy. What are you doing on our show?
It was really bad.
He ruined a couple shows.
But you know what I just saw on Facebook? There, you put up a picture recently of you and on the Letterman show.
Yeah.
Where you were supposed to be a host?
No,
or
I was a
something?
goof.
Oh,
I
that's
just-
a goof.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
I'm thinking, did you?
No,
did you tape?
Gavin brought me in there as a guest when Gavin taped the show.
I saw because there's a picture of you and Steve Shaffer and you behind the desk. I'm like, did they
No,
tape
not
Danny?
Steve.
Me?
No,
No,
it was-
you.
It was just a picture of me behind
Yeah,
Letterman's
you.
desk.
Oh.
Yeah.
What happened was Gavin brought me in as a guest when Gavin did a spot there.
Right.
And after the show was over, you could do whatever you want. I had my picture
They
taken
let you
behind.
walk around the,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
set.
What a great journeyman Gavin
You know?
is. You ever work with Gavin? You ever work with Gavin Carey?
She knows him.
You know
Don
work
Gavin.
with John
Oh,
Gavin?
Don, yes. I
Don,
thought Gavin.
Don from
I
Boston.
love Don
Isn't he
Gavin.
great?
Don Gavin
One of
and
the
I.
best. Oh, here we go. I want to tell us, Carrie, tell us.
Don Gavin and I used to work together in Vegas all the time.
In
Right.
Vegas? Which,
Yeah.
which
Right.
place?
Chop.
Oh, okay.
And I used to be the MC.
No, I'm saying
Don was the headliner, and Craig Robinson, who is now a super mega star.
Okay.
The guy with the piano.
Yeah. Craig he used to always try to pick me up, and what an idiot! I wouldn't go
You
for
would be
it.
so rich
I'd be
right
so
now,
rich, I'd be
Karen.
the wife.
Or the
So
ex-wife.
Don Gavin would, you had 3 shows on Saturday and 3 shows on Friday, so you'd have one or two every week. You had like some sick amount of shows. It was like 15 shows a week at
Right.
the Trop.
But so funny.
But so many people would be packed shows every night in Vegas. So by the 3rd show, Gavin was gone.
What do you mean, drunk?
Drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would drink Black Russian.
I never saw it ruin a
Right.
show though.
That's
Ruin a show.
Never seen him
He
ruin a
would
show.
do the joke and forget the punchline. And then he'd be like, fucking bastard. So one night,
Okay.
I'm playing a slot machine, and I know I have 15 minutes before Gavin gets off.
I like that you
play
gamble
the
right
shop,
up to
slot
the
machine.
Right up to the point where
Right,
she has
you
to
gotta
go
run
on.
in and do your
Ding,
set.
ding, 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 bang, 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 ding, 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 bang, 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 bang.
Exactly.
Gary, you're on.
If I hit the jackpot, I was fucked because I'd have to leave in 15 minutes.
Somebody
Right?
get this.
So I know I have 15 minutes. So finally, I'm like, you know what? Let me go up there. I got 10 minutes. So I'm walking up, and I see the whole showroom coming out, and I'm like, what the fuck? And now I'm running because, I'm the MC. I should have been there.
You're bored.
He fucking bailed.
Wow.
Nobody.
He bailed?
He bailed 10 minutes because he was drunk.
Right.
So he bails, and yeah, I can't see without my glasses. But anyway, he bails, and all of a sudden I go up to the DJ booth, and I go, what happened? And I go, I was in the bathroom. And he goes, yeah, but Gavin got off 10 minutes early. I'm like, I didn't know I was in the bathroom. He goes, that's all right. Don't worry about it.
Wow. That's all right. Don't worry about it. That's pretty good. They must have loved you.
I was cute.
Did you go on
Really?
after him, or that was it?
No, that was people gone already.
Oh, you kid? Oh, yeah, that's right. They're not going to wait for someone.
Then we had to wait for the second show. So then I was like, fuck, Gavin can just, whatever. Every night I was nervous after that,
You have to be in the room.
I was talking to Kenny
Then
Rogerson
another-
today too.
Kenny Rogerson, another heavy
Yeah.
drinker.
Not anymore. They
Not
all quit.
anymore?
All those guys all quit drinking.
That was the guy
They'd
that
be dead right now if they
All
still
those
drank like
guys?
that.
Lenny Clark stopped years ago.
I love
He
Lenny
did?
Clark. I
Yeah.
love.
I guess they knew-
And he
well-
lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
He
yeah.
stopped the drinking, and he got thin, and
Yeah.
I love
But
Lenny
one time,
Clark.
Lenny-
Kenny was down in Atlantic City, the Brigada, and I'm on the phone with him. I go, Kenny, I'm close by. I might be coming down tonight. And all of a sudden he goes, Daddy, I don't drink anymore. I'll see you, Kenny. Take care.
Well, that's where
know?
that's where I
Okay.
saw him go off the wagon at your club in at the shore.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, he goes, I don't drink anymore. I'm on the wagon, and that's it. I don't drink. And by the second show, he's drinking. I felt terrible. He had been 6 months, and he started drinking. It's very hard to not drink and be a comic, and then be at a comedy club and drink.
Let me ask you a question. Whatever happened to the Rascals Comedy Hour tapes?
Oh, nothing really happened with those at
Do you
all.
have them?
Perner has them.
Who's
Rascals
Bernard?
doesn't have any. Mark or me or anybody has no connection with them at all.
The guy who
Rob-
bought the club after.
No. He actually owns 50%. But when he went bankrupt.
Who's Berman?
Perner.
Perner? Who's that?
Rob Perner. He was the producer of Rascals Comedy Hour.
Okay.
So
okay.
I think those would make money now.
Nah, we tried to sell them. I tried to sell them to Sirius Satellite Radio
And
when they first were involved. I went there
Yeah.
with these tapes thinking these guys are going to love this shit.
Yeah.
Right.
And
What a history that club had.
I think we tried going for something like $250,000 for like 1 year that they could use them, and they just basically laughed at us.
No, but
I think they
what
came
it-
back and offered like
They
$20,000.
need to try now, because I'm telling you,
there's so much
these-
content
how
out
many-
there. You'd be surprised.
But how many guys did you have?
Here's the whole list. I brought every show with me. They did
Wow.
well, Chris,
How many
they did
shows?
386 shows.
Holy moly.
I know that you guys
lot.
used to sell the Chris Rock segments.
No, what happened was they tried selling the Chris Rock tape,
Yeah.
and immediately his lawyers came out and said cease and desist.
Oh, really?
Because they
But
said
we
he was. They
signed-
said he was 17 when he signed it.
Oh,
Okay, the
that's really
release.
funny.
Is that
No, he
true?
wasn't. No, it wasn't true.
See,
But we didn't have enough money to fight the lawsuit.
Oh, yeah.
People in
And
Jersey
he-
Yeah.
don't realize what a historical place the
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Rascals was, and the acts that came through from Seinfeld,
Yeah.
Larry Miller, George Wallace, Jay Leno, Sam Kinison,
All of them, yeah.
Dice. I mean, the list goes
Bob
on,
Nelson.
goes on.
Well, it's funny. Patty said last
Nelson.
time
Mulrooney.
she said she had it was an open contract that you signed, open release contract
Carol
to do the
Leifer.
Rascals Comedy Hour.
Yeah.
And you said you didn't sign it, but you put in there. Tom had you put in there that you're
up
not
to
gonna,
1 year.
something like that.
You can use my tape up
So
to
what
1
happened
year.
was I went through this list and I found your name. There's a little asterisk by your name.
It's so funny.
And anybody that has an asterisk by their name was
Bobby
somebody that
Right.
that
cut
said
the-
you can't use
the open-ended contract. Yeah.
Yeah,
Bobby
that's so funny.
Slayton. Dennis
Thank you,
Wahlberg.
Omnipop.
Dennis Wahlberg does not have Chris Rush. Poor God rest
No,
his
most
soul.
people just signed it and didn't care.
Yeah, I
No.
think I just signed it.
I remember Mark though. See, I'm surprised you got away with not signing. 'Cause
I
there
know.
was-
I'm surprised too because they said that you couldn't go on if you didn't do it.
Right.
But then Omnipump just said, "Well, you can use it, but just for a year." And they were like, "Okay, yeah, we're not going to use it."
I
after a
remember,
year."
I remember
And
Mark
talk-
Magnuson was sitting there. Somebody wouldn't sign, and Mark just went, and get the fuck out of here. We don't need you. You
Talk
know,
about,
I was
talk
like,
about a room
happened?
that rocked.
What
he
room?
signed.
What?
Rocked.
I love that room.
It rocked. 300 and, what was it, 360?
4.
Okay, 400 people in that space.
Packed.
When you got a big laugh, the wall shook.
Yeah.
I love that.
You
room.
could go on a roll in that room. Also, I loved that the stage was up high, so
That was
they
such
could-
a great room.
It was a great.
Let
room.
alone I policed it like you don't
and
believe.
Danny really
I made a difference.
policed the
Randy
room.
Heighton.
Randy
Heighton.
Heighton.
He used to have the
Sure,
glove.
I remember
I
every one of
forgot
those.
Lenny Schultz.
Oh, Lenny Schultz,
There you go.
who started
There's
banging
some unbelievable.
his,
There's some
his
unbelievable shows
girlfriend's
on there.
daughter.
There's 3-man shows on there that you're like, holy
You
shit,
don't have
these
to
3 guys
convince
work
me.
together.
Dan, I was there
Bill
every Monday
Hicks?
for a while.
Oh, tell your
I got a Bill
your
Hicks
Bill
story.
Hicks story. I like your Bill Hicks story.
He was a pisser to work with.
Bill Hicks was almost too cool for the room always. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
Like
Yes.
I was very intimidated
talk
by
much.
him. No, he didn't talk much. Go
No.
ahead. What's your Bill Hicks?
We're in
story?
Texas, and I'm with, I can't remember the comic's name, but he loved Bill Hicks. He said, Bill's the other room in Houston, so let's go hang out. I said, okay, fine. So we get to the room. He's out back behind the clubs. All the drunken, pot-smoking comedians always were, and getting high and pretty much on his ass, drunk. And I
Hicks
went up
was
to
drunk.
Hicks.
Okay.
So I went up to him. He had headsets on, a Walkman. And I introduced myself. He took the headset off. I am Steve Shaffer. He goes, oh, he knew me. We were laughing. Started talking about some stuff. I said, great. Me and Bill Hicks are hanging. And then he's singing that Maggie's Farm, which is a Dylan song. And he said, join in with me and sing the words. Sing Maggie's Farm. And I had to admit, and I'm so sad to even admit this, but I didn't know the words to Maggie's Farm.
I don't know.
And
it
I
either.
wanted to sing along with Bill Hicks. I wanted to sing Maggie's Farm. And I'm like, Bill, I'm sorry.
Was he known back then?
Yeah, he was on his way up.
Okay.
It was, I said, Bill, I don't know. And we went from being pals to like, yeah, fuck you. He put, can I say
Yeah,
that?
safe. Look,
He
like
put his,
Harry.
right, he put his headset back on, he walked away from me, and that was the end of the night.
Come on.
I'm like, what the fuck? Just So we went back to the club. This is like now months later. I'm doing Ellen DeGeneres' show for abortion rights, for women's rights in West Hollywood.
Oh, my.
At a theater in West Hollywood. I really worked on it. I got somebody write for me, and we're backstage, and Hicks is there, and I'm looking at him. I'm going, we're 10 feet from one another backstage at this theater. I'm like, do I say hi? I'm the guy who didn't remember. I didn't remember the words. He was drunk. I don't know Dylan. He hates me. So he doesn't. He just looks at me. I look at him. He looks at me, and he looks at me again. He goes, "Did you ever learn the words to Maggie's phone?"
That's funny.
And I laughed, and that was it.
And you know what happened to him
Really?
on
That
Letterman,
was it.
right?
That was the end of it. Yeah, because he went back to his notes, and
That's-
he laughed a little bit. And
But his brain was
and he
there.
shook my hand, and we
His
shook
brain
hands,
was
and
right
fucking
there.
funny.
He knew who you were.
He
and
knew who
everything.
I was. He
I
knew
was so-
exactly
even though
who
he-
I was.
that's
You
so
heard what happened
funny.
to his
I love
Letterman
that.
taping, right?
What's that?
His Letterman taping?
He had Rosie O'Donnell.
Oh, that was
I heard
sad.
about
What
it.
He
happened?
taped Letterman,
Right.
okay, but basically he went off into a new set than what it was approved by everybody.
The Jesus stuff,
Well,
right?
I don't know what he did, but
Oh.
what he said he was going to do, he went off and just did everything else.
Oh.
So,
You have to
so
get-
they didn't air it. They cut
Right.
it.
Right.
Okay, and they had who was the guy you had on a couple weeks ago do the set?
Did
no,
the set-
Bill Sheff wound up doing it in place, but they didn't air Hicks. They cut him out altogether because he went off script of what he was supposed to do.
Right.
And literally after he died, Letterman came out and apologized
Right, I
for
remember
cutting
that.
it. And not only did he
That's
do
right,
that,
yeah.
he brought his mother on as a
I
guest
saw
and
that.
apologized
That's
to his
right,
mother.
that's right.
That,
on
and she
stage.
sat there. It was so
Yeah.
like sad and kind of uncomfortable in a way. But
Did they play it after?
I don't think they ever.
I
Don't
thought they
remember.
did play it.
Did they ever? Yeah,
I
they
thought he
might have.
played it. He said, and "We're going to watch it right now." I think
like-
he played it
one-
with the
one of
mother
his-
sitting there. They did play it.
You're right.
One of
Yeah,
Hicks's greatest lines I remember. He goes, "Yeah, I had a job once, and I wasn't working. There was nothing to do." And the boss says to me, "Hey Hicks, how come you ain't working?" I says, "Nothing to do, boss." And he says, "Well, while I'm around, you pretend you're working."
Right.
I said, "You're the boss. Why don't you pretend I'm working? You make all the money you fantasize."
Okay. I don't know whose line's funnier, to be honest with you. I think they're both pretty funny. The boss saying, "I'm the boss." Pretend you're working. I got to tell you, I'm at the comic strip.
Yes.
This is nutty for me. To walk through these doors and to be at the comic strip.
This was your home club.
I came here in '79.
Oh my God.
And
From
that's
the
how-
old country?
That's how. Yeah, from the old from Commedia. And it was '79. I was with a group, and
That was when comedy was great.
Jerry Seinfeld was the MC. And
you were at the club.
he used to say, "Jugglers one ball." Remember that joke he
No,
had?
what has that
Singers one song, comedians one joke, jugglers one ball.
That's his best
that
bit
was
now.
his. That was
I don't
his,
even get that joke.
Well, it made me laugh. You can only juggle with one ball. Comedians one joke, singers one song, jugglers one ball. Anyway, it was such a wonderful. Everything for me happened here.
Yeah.
The Tonight Show got booked here. Montreal Comedy Festival I
Got
booked
booked here.
here.
I can't believe
Shut
you
up.
got on the Tonight Show with only no experience, like 2 years experience as a comic.
I did no other television. I don't know if this is a record or not, but I did.
That was your first show. Like you
It's my
didn't do
very first
A&E
show.
or any of the bullshit shows.
I
VH1.
pooped my pants.
No, you didn't.
All my pants were poopy.
What,
Did you
because of the
literally
Tonight
poop
Show?
your pants?
Well, I was
or
nervous.
you
I
almost
didn't
shit
litter.
yourself?
No, I almost. But I was only a comic 2 years.
That doesn't even make sense.
Stand
Usually
up.
they don't let people do it.
Well,
Were you
men get
expecting
away
the
with
Carson to
murder.
call you over?
I actually had a pretty good set. I thought
You
he
had a
would,
great
but
set.
he didn't. But
Well, now, if he called you over, that was like a big deal.
I was the biggest of all
Yeah.
deals. I mean, but my mother, here's one for you. This is for all you comics out there whose parents drive you crazy. My mother hated me being in show business. She just hated it.
Is she still alive?
She passed away.
Okay.
And so after the Tonight Show, I said, "Mom, what'd you think of that? The Tonight Show?" She goes, "Yeah." Well, is it out of your system?
That's awesome.
Is it out of your system?
That-
She
Getting
wanted to
started.
know if I had, You know, that's what I tried to do, so now I can come home.
Right.
Yeah.
This
Well,
is
one guy
how
killed
goofy
himself
she
right
was.
after he did the Tonight Show.
Well,
What
I don't know.
happened?
I wouldn't do that.
I think it was one guy. I don't remember the name of the comedian.
Who killed
mean?
himself?
He did the Tonight Show, or
Really? Because he
and
didn't
then-
do well, Carrie?
No, he did great, and then he killed himself.
What?
But was that a true story? That's what they showed on
Whoa.
what's that show on HBO or Showtime about comics? That was one of the threads. But is that real or was that just not true? Is that based on a real thing though?
I think it was based on a real thing. Joey Cola says, "I love Steve Schaefer.
Ah, Joey
Do your
Cola.
guest bid. I don't know, 250, 300.
Okay, I can't. Well,
What's
for
your
Joey,
guess?
I'll do anything.
Give us a
What's
little
the
James.
guess?
Give us a
I
little
don't know,
James Brown.
250,
Give us a little James Brown.
I can't do
Oh,
James Brown.
let me
in
guess.
this place.
Sure
The
you
girl's
can.
wearing a guest shirt. I walked up to
That's
her.
right. This joke
Wait,
I
how
did
does
on
this
Merv
go?
Griffin,
Guess
Carrie.
it. Let me hear it. I love
I
Merv
did it.
Griffin.
I did it first, by the way. 1984, and on the Merv Griffin show, I did this joke. I said I saw this lady wearing. She was a big, heavy lady, sitting at the end of the pool, and she was wearing a shirt that said "Guess" written across the front, and I'm thinking. 250, 275, and that's it.
And then
That's it.
every comic
and
stole-
every
every
comic
fat
did
comic
that
stole the bit.
freaking joke.
That's a great
It's
joke.
my joke.
You know what joke?
Love
Wait,
that.
Do you know what I love? Do the one. It's a really
do
funny
the
bit.
one.
Do the one where you did it
Yeah.
on the Tonight Show. Do the one where you say Asian people don't really laugh like that. Where you do all the different.
Well,
French people.
Well,
French
because
people.
I actually changed it because I caught some heat
For
from,
what?
from the Asian community. Actually, people
Asians
that
are
were,
very sensitive.
That were, it was crazy.
They are. They fucking
Well,
kill
they-
dogs with
at
a
the
bat
time-
and eat them.
I
How
got 'em-
sensitive can
Wait
they
a
be?
minute, Carrie just said
They kill
Asians
dogs with bats.
Kill dogs with bats and eat them.
How sensitive
now,
are
if any
they?
Asians are sensitive, they're going to be very sensitive about that.
Every
Carrie.
video I see on Facebook, they're batting another dog and frying it up on the street. So I don't think they're that sensitive.
You may have a point, by the
Do
way.
that bit.
I'm going to have to go with
Do
Carrie
that
on
bit.
this one. Well, I say that everybody, it's universal. Laughter's universal. But you can't apply any prejudice to laughter. I mean, I can't remember.
Come
how
on,
to-
yes you can.
I mean, Swedish people don't go hoot, they hoot, they hoot. Mexicans aren't walking around going. French people don't go. And I used to do Japanese people, Asian people don't go. It got such a freaking laugh on the Tonight Show. You want to know the biggest laugh?
So
on
what
the Tonight
happened?
Show?
You got in trouble?
I got in trouble because
Why?
Macaulay called Richie. Macaulay called Richie. Richie told me, no, Bob Wax called me.
Oh, okay.
And said that they want me to tone down the
Racial stuff.
the stuff that reinforces stereotypes. I'm
Oh,
"Bleh."
please.
But anyway,
That's the funny shit.
I thought it was. My biggest laugh, and this is funny because my mother, knowing the stuff about my mother, my biggest laugh is I say things should be named after the sounds they produce. My mother, I have an Italian mother, so my mother would be called, "Ah!" And the fucking room.
Yeah, that got a great
The
laugh.
room went, the laugh, and I'm even at the time I'm thinking, I wonder what my mother thinks.
Did
And
she say anything
She
after
was
that?
drunk.
She just.
Wait a minute.
She really
she
was.
drunk.
Really?
Did
My
she
uncle
come
told me
to the
that she-
taping, or
No.
She watched it from home.
She watched it from home with my uncle.
And she was
They're
drunk
not
one
a
night?
in
For
South
some
Philadelphia.
reason, back in those days,
Yeah.
and my mother's era too, they nothing the kid could do will impress.
It's amazing,
them.
isn't it?
Like I
Was your mother proud of you?
never.
Never.
My
What
mother
about now?
still.
Is she proud of you?
Like I said to her one day, 'cause she's been to maybe 3 of my shows in the whole 30
My
years.
mother went to 2. Yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
maybe 3. I'm saying,
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But some parents are very supportive. Now I've met friends
Some.
that So you're saying
Not
your
mine.
mom was not.
My
Okay,
mother was
go ahead.
Greek
I'm
right off the
curious.
boat.
Gotcha.
Okay, so literally off the boat.
Right. My grandparents off the boat.
No, my mother off the boat.
Okay.
And then she got off the boat and said, I will never get on a boat,
Boat again. Ah, yeah, mom.
And see you later. I'm staying here.
I
So never once was proud or
Really?
it was just like, when are you going to get a real job?
Okay. So your mother and my mother would have got along.
My mother wanted me to be a teacher, and she said, "How can you do?" I remember when she was like crying. She goes, "How can you do this for a living?" She goes, "You don't even have health insurance."
Right.
Like that, like I didn't have, feet or something. Like I don't have, okay, I don't have health insurance.
But
All
you
right.
know what? Back then, you didn't need health insurance as a kid. You were healthy.
Yeah, that's right.
No kids
I
had
didn't
health
have
insurance.
health insurance in my
I didn't
20s.
either. I
till
didn't
about
either. Or
30.
my 30s.
The
No,
pro-
in my 30s I got some. I had a kid.
Yeah. Oh, you already had a kid in your 30s. Wow.
Well, 35.
You got married?
Married at 32.
Gretchen,
Oh.
who was a waitress
They
at...
always bang the waitresses and then they married
I
them.
married one.
Yeah.
I stayed
Well,
married, though. You got to give me some
I
props
do-
for that.
I do.
I do.
Comics
But
is
all the
32
comics,
years.
don't tell me they weren't banging every waitress. I
Bobby
should have been a
Collins,
waitress.
Bobby Collins.
Was a big waitress banger?
No, he
Oh, he
married
married
one.
her.
Banger. What an
Yeah, they
expression.
were waitress bangers. But
His
listen,
wife is beautiful, and she worked at Catch a Rising Star.
Yeah. She's
Gorgeous girl.
No, that's
See,
very
these
sweet.
girls
She's a
went for the
big
funny
lefty.
men.
She's a big lefty, and I get.
Me too.
I'm basically a centrist, a center left guy, but she's a big lefty, and so she's always on. She's
Rallying
marching and protesting and screaming and
I
writing.
love that.
And people are always like, so you and your wife, you're going to the march together? No, I'm not going to the march with my wife.
I'm sitting and watching TV eating my Doritos.
That's right. I'm going to watch the game.
So, but they all banged waitresses. All the waitresses had the fun in the comedy clubs. Women comics never banged any of the waitresses.
Guys,
Raiders.
But wait, wait.
There's a little
There
bit
was
of
a
that.
joke even written. And the guy,
Okay.
the guy goes to the room, right, and he's banging the waitress, and he goes, "I can't believe I'm banging the waitress," and she goes to him, "I can't believe I'm banging the opening act, or the middle act."
The middle.
the
That's funny.
feature.
That's
I
funny.
saw you once, Steve Moon, here at the comic shop. Do you remember when you
I was
mooned?
prone to mooning.
What was the mooning thing? I remember
I used to
all
do
of you
this thing.
guys
I
would
used to do
moon.
this thing where I would, and then for some reason I thought it was so funny. I could come like within 3 or 4, maybe 5, 6 inches. I could stand really
Of your
close to you,
face?
and stand next to a person, and then just drop my pants. And I would have people like all over the room. I'd say, "Look, I'm going to walk up to this person. I'm going to talk to him, and while I'm talking to him, I'm going to drop my pants, and he won't know that my pants are dropped, and we're just going to continue to have a conversation, and you guys just watch." And I did it all the time, and it was funny.
So you were funny off stage too.
A little bit. It was just one of my bits. It was a very easy physical routine that I enjoyed. Did it in Pittsburgh. Did it to this guy in Pittsburgh, and he caught me. Even they usually don't catch me,
Beat
but he
the
caught
shit
me.
out of you.
And he told everybody that came in the following weeks that I was gay. He told all the comics that came, "Steve Shaffer's gay." I mean, like,
But do you think he really thought that, or was he just fucking
he
with
said
you
it to
back?
so many people.
Maybe
I
he
mean,
thought you were hitting on him in a weird
I
way.
guess.
You know what's so weird though about boys pulling their pants down? It's so funny. But if a girl pulls her pants down,
creepy.
It's creepy and sexual and weird. You know, like there's something wrong with her.
Right. Well, there is. There's something wrong with pulling your pants down. There's also something wrong with farting and pulling the sheets over somebody's head. That a guy invented that stupid shit,
Yeah,
right?
I
Females do
always
that, too.
do fart stuff. I think
no,
it's funny.
I don't do. I don't.
I do
I
it
was
all the time.
9
Hilarious.
months pregnant, and I had the worst gas coming from Manhattan, going home, and I held that in, and I thought I was having the baby because the pains were so bad.
Absolutely.
Just so I wouldn't fart in front of my husband.
God,
She still doesn't fart in front of him, which is weird.
I don't. First
That's
of
a
all,
lot of control. In
Yeah,
this.
I
Let
don't
me just
fart.
point that out.
let me just say that I don't fart.
Not at all.
I
I
love
fart
Steve's.
constantly and in front of anyone.
You're drunk. You
Oh.
ever see his New Year's Eve drunk bit?
No, what's that?
It's too physical. I
No,
can't
I know,
do it
but
here.
it's
Can't do
just
it here.
it's just so perfect.
What is it?
He does it drunk on New Year's Eve, and
Just
it's
do it drunk. Just that men are. A lot of my act has become exactly what you're talking about. How coarse and ridiculous men are, and how women simply put up with us. And we should be grateful. Is my.
So
my-
you're still performing everywhere.
Yeah, I'm usually every week somewhere.
I would love to work with you. I've never
We'll
worked.
work together. We'll do it.
He's hilarious. You know what's
you kind of remind me of, but I don't know. You kind of, Dave Hawthorne.
Oh dear God.
Did you ever work?
What do you
with
mean?
Dave?
Does he?
Yeah,
oh,
I
you
know
mean
that.
like his act is like?
Well,
What,
no, I
isn't
don't
he
know about that.
walrus?
I've never seen walrus. Walrus.
What?
No,
But
just
silly
to look
like
a little.
that.
I'm a fan of silly. I'll tell you that. Can I tell my favorite silly story?
Go ahead.
Yes.
It's very silly, and I just love like Monty Python and
I love Monty
the
Python.
Nights That Say Neat, and it's just more ridiculous the better. Silly walks.
What's
the
the
whole thing.
Nights That Say
Nights
Neat?
You don't know the Nights That Say the
No.
Nights they walk places and they go "Neat," and that's all they do because they're Nights That Say Neat. You don't know the Nights That
I don't
Say
know.
Neat?
I know the silly walks. I know
Very upset
your
with
mother's a hamster and your
All
father
right.
smells of something berries.
So they
Okay.
brought silliness to a very high level. It was art when they did it. And I have this thing where I just use words like, out of nowhere. I'll say, put the Flern in the Herbert. And I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about, right? And somebody either has to understand me or not, and then we move on. And I was doing it. I was like, these were a couple of words that I was really into for like a month and a half. I would tell people to put the Flern in the Herbert. And I didn't even know I was saying it after a while. So I'm in the shop, right? And the cashier is getting one of my things. I said, just put the Flern in the Herbert. And the cashier turns to the bagger and she says, did he say Flern? And the bagger says, yeah, in the Herbert. It made me laugh so
That
fucking
is
hard.
so funny.
It's so stupid. It's
is
like
stupid.
it's the epitome of stupidity, but it made me laugh so fucking hard.
That's
Put it into Herbert.
That's your fatty bumbalatti bit that I always thought was so funny because it's so stupid.
So wonderfully stupid. I'm a fan of dumb and
Let
silly.
me hear it.
Oh, I don't know if I can do it so much.
It's your fatty
How
bumbalatti.
kids, if a kid sees a large person, they can't help themselves. My nephew would see a large person at the pool and go, "She's a fatty boombalatti." And I'm like, "Don't say it loud." I go, "No, but she is." And he would sing an entire song. Like the music
Right
of
in front of
and I'm chasing him around the pool while he's singing
And he's just
the
doing his
Fatty
kid singing.
Boombalatti song, and I realized it's a kid's word, not an adult word.
Right,
You
so
don't
they don't know what they're
You don't go to
talking.
the doctor's office. That goes, "Bill, you gained some weight. You're a fatty boombalatti." I don't know what I'm going to do with you, you big fat fatty boombalatti. I'm going to have to send you to the Fatty Boombalatti Clinic, where you'll receive support from other
Fatty
boombalattis. Now, I did that on Evening at the Improv, and it's the only bit that if I'm in a club or in Vegas or somewhere, it's the only bit that people remember.
When you came in, that's the thing I remember.
the only
Fatty
bit.
bumbalatti. And I always think of that when I see little kids who say something completely inappropriate to someone, because I always think of you saying little kids tell
Just
fat people they're
whatever
fat.
They say whatever they want. You'll never be that honest again.
That's
you need
right.
a bottle of tequila to do that.
I had a friend who was, she passed away. She was like 500 pounds and she was 5 feet tall.
Oh my
Boy.
God.
Oh, that's
She was a
wow.
comedian. Her name was Susan Mason.
I don't
She
know
was
her.
so funny and so smart. She's sitting on my couch one day. My nephew comes in and he walks up to her and he goes, "Oh my God, you're fat."
Right, right.
She goes, "I am?" She goes, "Yeah, really fat." I was so embarrassed. I was like, "Oh my God, yeah. Take your kid and get the hell out of here."
My daughter, when she was like 5, we were walking down Brooklyn, and she saw this little guy, like he was like 90s, hunched over, little small guy, and he's old, and he's walking right next to us. And she just says really loud, "Mom." And I go, "What?" And she goes, "Is that guy a monkey?" She goes, "Is he a monkey or a man?" I go, "Stop it, Molly." She goes, "Is he a monkey
or a man?"
Is he a monkey?"
Should have just said, "Man." Stop it, Molly.
That's what
Answer her.
I know, it was so horrible. But they just,
They
they don't care.
They don't. Fatty Boombalatti. That's about the one that they
Nobody gets
remember.
hurt with your act. That's the thing.
Yes.
Some people, I mean, not that I don't like mean comics. I do think that. But it does seem like there's like a thing going toward more mean, especially with the, what do you call them, the roasts? You know how mean? But your act, nobody gets hurt, right?
Essentially,
You're not mean.
I don't. It doesn't.
What
do,
if there's a big fat woman sitting right in front of you? Are you going to do the fatty boobalati?
You know, I might not.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
might
really?
not,
You
because
do?
it doesn't help me.
Yeah.
I
But
don't
now
like that.
everybody's fat, so I mean,
But
now
you know
you
that-
can't do the bit at all.
You know, well, I'm certainly fat. So,
Now you
You know who
I
used to do fat?
Can I
Go
just
ahead,
do
go
the
ahead,
button?
go.
Let me do the button because I didn't write it. And
What's
I want
the
to give.
button?
I want to give Ron Zimmerman, who was a wonderful act who came through this club, and only shortly, but made his mark. And I bought this joke. It's the smallest little joke.
Remember Ron
At
Zimmerman?
the time, I was actually doing a fair amount of television. I wanted to put it.
Oh, shit, is that
I turned
me?
it
Sorry.
off.
That's
Oh.
me.
Oh, no.
Sorry, I got to turn that off. What the
So I bought in the middle of my kid stuff. I said, "Kids are honest." And I needed a button for this, and then Ron had it, which is nothing more honest than a little kid. The 7-year-old says you're ugly, you are. That's it. It was so clean and economical and simple.
That's right.
And it always got good enough laugh, a good 80, 90% laugh. And that was the button, and I bought it from Ron Zimmerman. I called him up one day and said, "Ron, I want that joke." "Nah, Shafe, I don't know. It's a pretty good joke." I said, "What's your rent?" At the time, it was
Come on.
$350.
You paid him that for the joke,
I
for
paid
that
him
one line?
$350 for that.
Oh, that is so shitty. They made you
words.
pay that for those words.
I was
was
doing
worth it in the
TV.
long run.
I was
Yeah,
doing
that's
TV.
true. You
That's
did-
great.
It was
Ron's-
worth every penny.
Did Ron Zimmerman date Cher? Or who was it that
I
dated
heard he
Cher?
was. I heard that he did.
Now, there's another guy, not the best looking guy at the party, let's be honest.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
Not
Yeah, but
that
you know what?
attractive.
Is it at the
Women
party?
don't care about good looks if they're funny.
I guess so. Cher
Women
went
like
out with
funny.
him.
I would just want
What
to say
about
one,
Scarlett Johansson? She's dating
I
that
can't
comedy
believe
guy.
she's dating that goofy looking guy.
I want to say one
Who?
thing.
Go
about
ahead. What's
the
his
fat.
name?
A comic?
No,
He's
not
that
Colin.
good.
Wait. Oh, you're talking about
He's a
Scarlett
comic?
Johansson? Oh, no. I'm thinking of Ariana Ariane, whatever the fuck her
Grande?
name is. Yeah, dating that other guy
Right.
from Santa.
But
Now
she's
that's a
right.
goofy
They do
looking
like
guy.
pretty women do like funny. And you were
Yeah,
saying,
because you
Karen,
could have a good-looking guy. I had the best-looking guy once, and he was so boring.
right,
Ugh.
right.
Exactly.
Boring.
Right. How long?
But
Oh.
I worked with Dom Irera one night
Tommy, my man.
So funny.
at Bananas in Hasbrook Heights. So there's a whole row of fat women. I mean, fat, really fat women. And I go to him, what are you going to do, you fat? You know, because back then you did 2 shows a night, you know,
Right.
whatever. So I go, you going to do your fat bit? He goes, yeah. I'll do it right up
Of
front.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He opens
He caught
with
me. Okay.
the
Opens.
fat joke,
Wow.
targeting fat women.
Do the ladies laugh?
He dug himself in such a hole.
Right.
I'm like,
Wow. How about that?
this is gonna be good. Watch him go. He got out of it eventually,
Right.
but they fucking
Yeah, it's
hated
not,
him.
it's not a. I don't think it's a good choice.
What,
Why-
fat jokes?
To hurt people in
Yeah.
the audience, to like separate
Right.
them and make them upset. I'm not
You
there to do
can't
that.
Yeah,
That's
alienate
not
the
my
crowd.
job.
Yeah.
If
I
you think
getcha.
it's your job, fine.
No, but these
go
people
ahead. It's not my
paid to
job.
come see you.
That's right.
We're
That's
here to
right.
see you. Don't talk to them. Don't badger them. I paid a ticket to see
That's
you,
right.
asshole. You
That's
badger me, I'll
right.
never come back, and then you'll be.
Over.
we're
You
not
ever
Carrie
working.
is my new best friend.
You ever see Dan Wilson do the midget? He does,
Oh my
he
God,
does an
that's so
unbelievable
funny.
midget.
It's a
Okay.
great midget
I know the
bit.
bit.
And sure enough, he's there at Rascals one night, and the midget comes down the stairs, and I'm like, hey,
Are you
Dan, not for
doing the
nothing,
bit?
but, you got a midget in the audience
No.
tonight.
Did he do it?
No.
Oh.
He didn't do it.
No.
No,
Okay.
Dan's
Dan's a
another one.
gentleman.
He's very nice, Dan.
See,
Another
that would
nice,
be a
sweet
tough
guy.
call too.
It
because
is.
It's
That's
such
a-
a funny bit.
It really is.
It's a tough call, but
Everybody's sitting around a lot. They can't laugh.
Yeah.
Everybody's sitting around the
Well,
midget.
Lisa Lampanelli
You know.
once. There were 2 little people because we won't call them midgets. They don't want to be called midgets.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
2 little people sitting in the front. So Lisa goes, "Oh, look at the little midgets," and he goes, "My wife doesn't like to be called that. She wants to be called we're little people, right?" She goes, "I don't give a shit what the fuck your wife
She
wants." To.
always would
So-
say stuff like that.
She goes, "What are you gonna do if I call you a midget?"
Oh boy.
And he goes, "What are you gonna do if I call you a fat cunt?"
Oh my
The crowd
Oh!
went nuts.
And the
It was
crowd
like the
went
little
wild.
people were being held up in the air.
What did she say?
Did she come
ever-
back?
She
Yeah.
couldn't come. Lisa's good at things that are written. Lisa's not
Yeah.
good on.
Oh yeah.
Off the
okay,
cuff.
okay.
Right.
I
So
remember Tom,
they got to go, and she's like, "Fuck you! I'll punch you out of here," or whatever. It was like nothing could compare to what he just did to her.
Wow.
So
Tommy Blaze one time is on stage. His opening
Oh,
line
I don't
is-
like Tommy Blaze.
His opening thing is, okay, just want to let you know that I curse a lot. I talk about homosexuals, and I talk about this. Anybody got a problem with that? This little old lady in the front raises her hand,
Really?
and she goes, my son died of AIDS last week.
Oh dear God.
Oh,
How do you-
my
how
God.
do
No,
you
he's
beat
standing
that?
there. It's so funny. You can hear a pin drop, and I'm
Right.
standing on the staircase at Rascals, and he's got the
Yeah.
microphone in his hand. He looks over at me, and he goes, where to next,
Yeah.
Mr. Rascals?
Yeah.
And I went up the stairs. You're on your own, man.
Yeah, you are on
You're
your
on your
own.
own on that
so
one.
horrible. Oh my God. Well,
no,
when
but that's
that
why
chance.
that's
You
why
take
you
that
can't
chance.
ask questions because
Yep.
just recently I was at Governor's, and there's a guy and his wife, a guy and his daughter and her boyfriend or whatever, and I go, "So, sir," I go, "your wife," I go, "whatever," and he goes, I go, "Where is she tonight?" And he goes,
Oh, yeah, the-
"She died."
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
God.
always.
You
the
knew that
always
was
end of it.
coming now.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I went, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry."
Yeah, Frank
And then
Del
it's
Pizzo
like,
had
okay,
it.
now
Frank
I-
Del Pizzo
Silence.
one time
That,
he
that's
had
how. And then I go, "Well, she's looking down at you." And no. Here's what I said to him. Now I remember. Well, she must have really hated you bad to want to leave. And then
Yeah, you have
it got
to
a
do
laugh.
that.
It
She's
got a
looking up
laugh.
at you.
Right. You know, she's willing to kill herself to get the fuck away from you. And then the crowd just went nuts laughing. And then that was it.
Yeah.
And then I
Frank
just,
Del Pizzo one time, he's got a bachelor party in the front, and he says to the groom, who's that next to you? And that's my grandfather. And who's that next to you on the other side? That's my uncle. And I immediately go, don't go there, Frank. Don't go there. Don't go there. Where's your father? He's dead. I go, no shit. Why'd you go there?
I did a gig for Fat Rat Bastard, and he got. I don't
Jeff
know if I told
Parami.
it. Yeah, Jeff Parami. And
He loves promoting that, doesn't he?
oh my
Burlesque.
God! And I was at a senior center, and I go, "Are you sure I'm right for this show?" He goes, "Yeah, it's going to be fine." And I go, "What is this for?" It was a fundraiser. He goes, "It's for chairs. It's for the Catholic school, the chairs." I go, "All right." So I'm up there and I'm talking. I'm going, "Whose sex life got better after 50?" And I go, "How's your sex life?" And there was a woman right up front. I go, "After 50, over 50, how's your sex life?" And she goes, why would you ask me that? And I
God.
go,
What?
why? And then the girl behind her goes, you know that this is a fundraiser for my father who died. And she goes, my mother is very upset. And why would you bring it up? And then people start like booing me.
Oh,
and
my
I'm like,
God.
I go, hey, I don't know this is a fundraiser that your father.
They told me something about a
she
chair.
Goes, that's what she goes. What did you think it was for? I go, I thought it was for chairs. And she goes, no, it's because my husband died. She goes, next. Go on.
God.
Go on. She goes, next. And then Fat Rat Bastards, he just gives me the thing like, get off. I'm going to finish this up. I literally had done like 8 minutes. And I go, am I still getting paid?
The ultimate question.
It was so
But why would
Am I
they lie
still
to you and not
getting paid?
tell you that the woman in the front?
Well, I don't know why they didn't. I go, why didn't you fucking tell me the what? And then the guy comes up to me, whose fundraiser it was. He goes to me, why would you do that to that one? Like I
Like
did it
you
on
had
her.
any
He goes,
idea.
why would you say something like that to her and upset her entire family when everyone's coming out here to have fun and you mock her dead husband?
First of all, I didn't mock her dead husband. I said, who enjoys sex over 50? Okay, your husband died. Big deal. Do you still have a vibrator?
See, why didn't I have you there,
Yeah.
Carrie?
Hey,
when I
anybody
could've-
know what? How did Gotham get Borgata? Any idea?
I have no idea. I don't know how anybody gets anything.
Um,
I wish they'd use me though.
And I actually go to see the lineup, and I'm like, I don't know any of these people.
Right.
They're
You
city. He does city acts, I think.
And not for nothing, but when Minervini was down there,
Yeah.
I mean, literally, it was a triple headliner show every
Right.
single week.
Right.
And I'm looking at these people now, and I don't know any of them.
They might still
There's
be
one
good.
or
That doesn't
two.
mean they're not
No,
good.
I'm not saying that, but
Right.
I've never.
But
even,
that audience is an older demographic.
yeah, but
Right.
you
I
guys
love
always,
that
you guys
audience.
always
I
did
love
great
that
down there.
audience.
They need
I
to,
love
know,
the
that's why
Borgata.
They
I
need
just,
to be careful with that because
just
younger
can't see the
people
reason
might
for
not,
the change.
might not make it.
Now, do you
No.
think it had? I mean, Minervini, I heard, was hardly ever there. That's not a good thing.
Well, I can't
Well,
say too
no.
much about Minervini because he didn't use me in 3 years.
He didn't use you down
He
there?
did not use me, and all the other guys did. But so I am
Yeah.
still pissed.
I
at him
love
for
that
You
club.
were
I
always there
love
when
the
Garvey was
Borgata.
there.
Well, I was
Yeah.
always there when Garvey was there twice a year, and then also with Randy. I was there twice. A
I
year.
was there, but then I had my kids, and then I got arrested. But
I hate when you get arrested.
You could have just said
Carrie.
arrested there. We would have known.
you know the story, right? I got arrested. I had to call Ray Garvey to come get me out.
No, you didn't tell me
Let's
this.
hear this one.
Did you get arrested for gambling?
No, I got arrested because I stole French fries and yogurt from the fucking cafeteria in the
they didn't-
Borgata.
They
No,
didn't
you did
arrest
not
you
get
for
arrested.
that.
Yeah, well, here's what happened.
You were working there, though.
I'm working there. I didn't go there all week. So I'm working with Keith Anthony, and I got my 2 babies. So Keith goes to me, why don't you go downstairs in the cafeteria and get a couple of yogurts for the kids and some French fries? Because I didn't feel like whatever going out to eat. We were writing. I don't know what we were doing. My husband was playing poker in the poker room. So I get up. I go downstairs, right? I go in there. Now, you're dressed in normal clothes. Everybody else is wearing dealer outfits.
Yeah, but you got a pass to go in there, though, right?
Yeah, you have a pass.
No,
You
you,
didn't
do, but I didn't have it with me.
Okay.
And they didn't. I never used that room. So I go in and I grab 2 yogurts. I put them in my pocketbook, and I grab 2 French fries. I put a napkin over them, and I walk out. I swear to you, as I'm walking, 30 guys surrounded me, and I
Are
went.
you
Boy, these guys
shitting
got
me?
nothing better to do.
I go,
Really?
what's going on? They go, come with us.
Oh God.
I go, come with you. Okay. They take me down in the basement.
No, they don't.
There's a jail down there. I don't think you people understand. There's a fucking jail in the Borgata.
There isn't.
I don't doubt that. I don't
Yeah,
doubt
right.
it. There's
Did they
probably a
put you
jail
in
there.
jail?
Patty, I
Jack,
went
you-
through gates.
No, you didn't.
Yes.
Oh
I'm
my
sure
And
God.
then
you
they
do.
go, what's in your bag? I go, what's in my bag?
Oh,
and
man.
now I'm thinking, what the fuck is in my bag? Did someone put something in my bag and I didn't know? And then I'm thinking, holy shit, somebody put cocaine in my bag. I was panicking. Did I leave my bag down at all? And I go, 2 yogurts? And they go, take them out. Take out the yogurts
me.
and the French fries. I go, I have 2 little kids. I go, I'm a comedian. I work here. And then they go, well, we don't believe you. I go, I'm the comedian all week. My name, call up, Carrie. And then I call Ray Garvey. I go, Ray. He goes, what's up, Carabas? I go, I'm arrested. He goes, I'm going to fucking kill you. I go, you have to come down and get me out of here. And, of course, Ray Garvey came down. He wanted to kill me. He
Yeah,
goes,
but you
only
didn't do
You
anything.
didn't do it
No,
right.
whatever. I
But you
go,
took the
first of
yogurt.
all, I go, I
That's
never ate here all
ridiculous.
week. I took 2 freaking yogurts and 2 French fries. I go, look on your cameras all week. I've been
That's
paying.
crazy.
I go, and gambling.
I know it's,
So-
well, I used to go to breakfast there all the time with no pass or anything.
You would?
Yeah, just keep my shoulders back, say hello to
Right,
everybody as
right.
I'm
You,
walking
by
through
the way,
door.
you look
Well, you
like
look
you're
like
a
a
manager
dealer
at the
right now.
Borgata.
Yeah.
He looks like a manager at the Borgata,
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
he?
true.
I used to walk right through the line, right through the doors, everything.
You know what it is?
And have
It's
breakfast,
your
and nobody would say
posture.
yes.
Danny has that straight posture
Right.
like he's in charge of something.
Yeah, but
Right.
I would look right at him and say hello, like I've known him for
Yeah,
weeks.
yeah,
Damn,
exactly.
you don't need a job. You just have to go down there and have lunch and breakfast at all these places.
But now you would
Easily.
think that you would never work there again. Ray Garvey, as soon as we got up that
I love Ray
giant freaking thing, it was like going up this, like
Yeah.
to heaven. We got out. He starts laughing. I start laughing. I go, Ray. Oh, and they let me keep the yogurts and the French
They
fries.
let you keep them.
They
Yeah.
let you keep
Uh,
them.
I-
Did they make you pay for him?
No,
Ray
because I
Gar-
worked there. But he started laughing. He loved every stupid thing I did like that.
Ray Garvey
He probably
said,
thought
but
you
he,
were adorable. You're his type, right?
yeah,
I was adorable.
you are adorable. But I remember him saying,
Thanks, Patty.
make sure you don't take any food out of the cafeteria.
That was me.
He goes,
because
because Carrie Carabas got in trouble. I didn't know you went to jail in the basement. He said, Carrie
I got
Carabas.
surrounded by, like, I'm not lying, 12 black men.
That's
not
crazy.
black men, black suits.
Yeah.
With the headsets. I was like, what?
Can
And
you imagine?
He had his hand under my arm. I'm like, what?
Can-
Where are we
can
going?
Cause
Can
of
you
yogurt.
imagine if you actually did something real, like stole?
You're done.
You'd,
You're
how
done.
scared-
I think there's only two people that were thrown out of the Brigada, Mulrooney and
Angel
Angel
Salazar.
Salazar.
Angel Salazar.
Oh my God, Angel Salazar! I was there that weekend. He was so drunk. He goes. Are you? I heard you going home for the weekend. You know, because it was like a show
I was
Monday
down
through.
there that week too.
Yeah, and I go, no, I'm staying because I knew what was coming. He goes, let me use your room. He goes, I'm going to use your room. I'm going to use your room. I don't know, you're not using my room. I'm staying actually, which was a lie. And then I had to come back for Sunday, and I'm so glad I didn't give him my room because he evidently passed out at the gambling table. He had been doing so. He kept saying to me, can you
was with him.
take Coke? And Coke, and what happens if you take Coke
And
then he said-
aspirin.
yeah, and something else, some other drug. And I go, I don't know, I don't think it's a good idea. He goes, you don't think it's a good idea to take Coke and whatever this other drug was? I go, I wouldn't do it. And he's standing there like a sweating
He's
in
panicking.
a T-shirt, dirty, with a dirty jacket. And I guess he just fucking...
Wait, listen to this. I was there that night.
You were
right?
there?
Yeah, I was. He finished the Brigada. He meets me, and we're gambling. He borrows $300 from me to gamble, right? Because he had a check.
Lend him money.
He had a check. Okay.
Angel.
Yeah, he had a check and he couldn't cash it, so I gave him $300 to gamble, right? And now I can't find him. I find him at the cashier's window cashing in. He's got like $700 he's cashing in.
Danny, you were an easy mark. You were
Right.
the nicest guy.
You never got your
You
money
got your
back?
I always
No,
got
he
paid
got
back.
it.
No,
You
he's
lent
the only one
money
that still
to
owes it.
everybody.
I always got paid
I
back.
know, but you did.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Because I knew they were
But
coming
you were
back
like
to
the
work.
nicest guy in
Well, they were all
show
coming
business.
back to work. The running
know,
joke. The
okay.
running joke would be, ask Danny to lend you money because this will guarantee you get to work there
Right.
again. 'cause you don't pay him back.
Mitchell Walters. Mitchell Walters.
But you
Mitchell
always
Walters.
did. I mean,
Yeah.
I knew guys that would say, "No, Danny will give me." I said, "But he ain't a bank." No, Danny gives me
Well, I
money.
used to take my
So
bait
what happened? Finish the story.
with Angel.
Yeah. And they
Uh,
passed out?
No, so it was so funny. So I lent him $300. I find him in the cashier's window, cashing out like $700 in chips. I go, give him my $300 back. No, man, I gotta go to Cleveland tomorrow. I'm going.
He
I
took-
lent you.
he
I
took
lent
the
you
winnings.
$300,
Yes.
and you just made $400. Okay, give me my $300. No, man, Danny, I gotta go to Cleveland tomorrow. I need the money. So to
Okay.
this day, he's the only one that still owes me money. He sends me a birthday wish on Facebook today. And he goes,
Where's
hey, Danny, can I take $50 off what I owe you if I say happy birthday?
He did.
He still owes you
Do
money.
you know,
Got a lot of
do you know
balls.
that every time I worked,
It's a ballsy move.
every time I worked the Borgata, I would hear paging Angel Salazar, paging Angel Salazar. So I'm like, is Angel here? Why do I keep every fucking time? And all of a sudden, I go, I don't remember who was booking it at the time. I go, I think it was Ray. I go, Ray, why is he goes? He does that all the time. He calls up the Borgata from
No, he
wherever he's
doesn't.
working every weekend, and he pages himself
Why?
because he's weird.
What's his name? That's weird, though. It is
That
weird.
is really weird.
I was like, do you want me to tell you some of my Carlin stories?
Oh
What the hell am I here
wait
for?
a minute. Let me tell you. I have that. That's one of my questions
right,
for
okay.
you is Carlin.
All right.
Because I will tell you this.
These sound new to me.
George Carlin
You
is
know I was
my
toured with
favorite
George.
of favorite comics, and I saw
Mine
a
too.
photograph of you with him, and you opened for him for how many months?
About 3.5.
Okay, give me your Carlin, because I love.
That's
got to
be the
tell
best.
Me anything
It's
bad
the best.
about him.
Best.
It was the best experience I
Did he
had in
kick?
show business, bar none.
Really?
Well,
Tell me why.
Well, because he's George Carlin and he's the
You got
greatest.
to watch him every
Is he
night?
1, 2, or 3? That's a debate that everybody.
What do you
every
mean? Is he 1, 2, or 3?
Is he 1, 2, or 3? Is it Pryor? Is it Carlin? Is it
He's
Leonard?
Different.
One.
It's different.
One.
It's different.
But
It's
I'm
different.
saying, of course. So is he one? Is he? He's one of the best.
Right.
He influenced everybody.
Right.
So I get this gig. I mean, by the way, first of all, Dennis Blair, God bless him, recommended me
Oh yeah, he used to open for
to
him.
the manager. Manager
Got it.
saw my tape, hired me. Okay.
Got it.
So God bless Dennis. Or wouldn't
Dennis
have
Blair
happened.
was
Wouldn't have happened without-
married to Mitzi
Peggy,
Shore.
Peggy Blair. No,
Oh,
no,
no. Okay.
So it wouldn't have happened without Dennis. Okay, so I'm on tour with George Carlin. I can't believe it. First gig is in Caesar's Palace, and I meet him backstage at Caesar's Palace, and I can't stop telling him
How much you love him.
much
Oh,
I
yeah, yeah.
fucking love him.
Right.
So, and I can't. It's like I can't stop.
I got it.
couldn't stop. Like, George, you don't know what you mean. I mean, I so related to you as a kid. This is a dream come true. I'm touring with you. I mean, you can see some of my act. I hope it's not too reminiscent of your. He looks at me, stops me after like 4 minutes of this effusive complimenting, stops me, and he says, "Well, why don't you go fuck yourself?"
In what kind of style, though? In the comedy style, or?
And he said it
What did
just
you
like that.
say?
I thought he's going to fire me, that I'm like too much of a kiss ass, that I was too up his ass. And I was like, what? And he kind of like, just after that, he just kind of blew it off. And I thought, well, shit, I'm getting fired. That's the end of it. He thinks
That's horrible.
I'm too big a kiss ass. That's his opening night. Why don't you go fuck yourself?
Sound just like him.
How do you screw that up? I screwed it up, apparently.
Wow.
So we kind of left. He shook my hand. He laughed a little bit. So I had a good set, thank God. And a couple of nights later, 2 nights later, I suppose, where he tells me this story about how he thought Danny Kaye was the greatest performer, and that Danny Kaye meant
Kaye.
so. That's right.
Yeah, Danny Kaye.
Danny Kaye meant so much to him.
Thumbelina.
And it was his way of saying he was letting me off the hook.
Yeah.
He was saying, that's my guy. If I was with Danny Kaye, I might have been an idiot like you. So he let me off the hook. So we became friends. We'd send each other postcards. I was a Phillies fan. He's a Mets fan. I got his postcards. They're laminated. I got them. They're not laminated, but I got them, and they're home. I got them. It mean a lot to me. So okay, here now we're on the road. Maybe this is a couple months in, and I'm thinking I got to find an observation that George has never come up with. I want
To impress him.
to impress him, to say, George, I know you've written everything, but did you notice this?
Right.
So I would come up with one, the handrail on the elevator. I wrote that back in 1976. So I kept trying. So one night I'm watching a Western, and I see the second or third lead was a guy named Murdoch.
Okay.
And I thought, in every Western, there's a Murdoch. Not a great joke, not a great observation, but it's a true observation. In every Western, there's a Murdoch.
Yeah.
So I said, maybe he hasn't come up with this. So I said, George, I think I got one. So I went up to him and said, George, in every Western, there's a Murdoch. And he says, I know. In every Western, there's a Murdoch. And by the way, there's also a Kincaid.
That's true.
And he said, I wrote that down 15 years
No,
ago
we didn't.
on an index card. In every Western, there's a Murdoch. And there's also a Kincaid.
He had actually.
He had the second guy. He actually had the second guy.
True though.
Yeah.
There is always a Kincaid.
There's a Murdoch and a Kincaid. And I said, okay, George, I'll never try.
fucking genius.
I'll never try again. He goes, no, keep trying. And I never came up with an observation. I wrote that down 15
that
years
he
ago.
didn't already know.
Right.
Wow.
What was the bigger theaters he used to do?
We used to do like 1,000-seat, 1,500
Uh-huh.
seat theaters. I can't remember all of them. Pittsburgh.
Would you get nervous
Philly.
for like opening? I know you get nervous for the Tonight Show, you said, but what about
I
just?
get nervous, but they were such a hot audience.
Yeah.
Because
That
they-
after
oh.
the first couple of times, I knew I was going to do well.
Right, because you knew his crowd.
I did my best 20. I did my absolute knockout 20.
Right.
And his crowd came there to laugh. It's not like opening up for Cher or
Yeah,
somebody.
yeah.
It's not like opening up for
with
a music act.
Oh, they hate you when it's
Open
Yeah.
a
for
Cher.
Cher.
No.
Big time.
I opened for music. Paul Anka, and Julio Iglesias. I've opened.
Julio Iglesias.
Oh,
What was that crap?
I drove his son around in a van.
John Joseph
do you
opened up
mean?
for him for a long time.
John Joseph gave me the job.
Oh, yeah.
Actually.
What do you mean you drove Julio Iglesias?
Because my friend used to rent buses, and
Yeah.
the bus driver didn't show up, and he goes, "You got to drive for me." I had no spots in the city that night, and I go, "All right, who am I driving?" He goes, "Julio Iglesias' son." I go, "All right, whatever." Enrique.
Who's a pretty big star now, or was.
Huge
Yeah.
now,
yeah.
now huge. I didn't know who the frig he was. He's eating dinner at this place, and I'm waiting outside in this 9 or 12 or 15 passenger van.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting and waiting. I get out of the van. I go into the restaurant. I go, "Excuse me, you want to be by Jones Beach by 8 o'clock? You got to leave now." And they're like, "Okay." So then I'm in the van waiting, and finally I get up again. It's now 7:45. I go, "Guys, we have to go." All right, they get up. They get in the van, and I go, "Put your seatbelts on." I go, "You got to put your seatbelts on." And, I start driving like a maniac through Manhattan, and I hit the brakes at one point, and they all fell forward. I go, Didn't I say put your seatbelts on?" But I don't know who these guys are.
I remember Robert Wall. He came running into Rascals one night.
Robert Wall.
Yeah.
He hasn't. Where is he?
He's a writer, like on Oscars and stuff nowadays
okay.
and stuff.
He tried to pick me up.
But
He did?
he came running into Rascals one night, out of the blue. Just comes running and says, "You got to give me 15. You got to give me 15." I'm like,
15
"What's going?"
minutes?
Yeah.
Oh.
He said he opened up for Cher down at the Garden State Arts Center and bombed, and just needed a place to get on stage to get it
You
back.
got to get back.
That's interesting.
Well,
Yeah,
a shared
comedians
crowd
do.
is going to be like a bunch of gay guys and women.
I've heard
so maybe,
a lot of guys had problems, especially with people like Cher. Not because of her.
No,
just the
no,
music
gay
in
tough
general.
audience.
Especially in Garden State Arts Center, which
Women
is outdoor
would've-
arena kind
Oh,
of.
Women would have
Julio
done
had a
good.
gay. Julio had a gay audience.
Yeah, but
He did?
Not a lot, but like 20. There's always 20-25% of the audience.
John Joseph did it
was
for
gay.
years with him.
Really?
He became
Yeah.
pretty good friends with him.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
stayed at
gotta
his
tell you.
house.
In
Once.
Florida.
Yeah.
He did?
Yeah.
his son,
Brought his
though,
whole family down there.
Really?
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
Julio in his house?
Yeah.
What was Julio like? You know why I don't like Julio?
he's got 2 sons, by the
Okay,
way.
this is why I don't like Julio, even though I don't know him. I saw him go up against Enrique, his son, for the same award, and I said, "Oh, this is really weird
Yeah.
that they're both going up for the same award," and Julio won it. And the son had that big song that year, whatever year it was when he was the biggest thing. And I remember thinking, that's uncomfortable. I'm sure the father's going to say something very
Gracious.
magnanimous or whatever. Yes,
Right,
gracious, whatever. He didn't even mention his son.
That's a
He
little
just
weird.
said something
It's a
about thank you.
competition.
Yeah.
I think
and
I always
thought,
remember reading something about there was
you bitch.
problem between
Why
them.
won't you say, you know what, you're so great, this should be for you, or I don't know. Why wouldn't you be happy?
That's weird.
I thought it was
That
weird.
is
It
weird.
makes me not like him.
Well,
Go ahead.
anyway, when
Go
I
ahead.
pulled up to Jones Beach, I go,
Yes.
the cop was there, and I go, "Open the gates," and he goes, "I can't." I go, "I got Julio Iglesias in here," because I didn't know his name. We get in, his fans surrounded. I've never seen
Oh my
so
God,
many
how
girls.
scary.
So I turn around, and I go to him, "Holy shit!" I go,
Who
"Who
are
the
you?
hell are you?"
Who are
That
you?
guy loved me, but
Really?
they didn't tip me.
They didn't tip.
No, he
Oh,
gave
John
me
Joseph
flowers.
told me that
Flowers. Fuck flowers.
I know, but
Flowers
I
is
got
right.
it out of my friend though. I go, "Fuck you, you're tipping."
John
They didn't
Joseph
tip
said
me.
that Julio was, it was John Joseph and his whole family invited down to stay with him. And Joseph, he tells me the story. He says, then we got into a golf cart and like rode down the street to like Gloria Estefan's house. And he says his
Where do
house.
they live, in Miami?
Yeah.
Did Julio have a wife, or he just bangs everybody?
Well, he has
He
2
was married.
sons.
He was married, yeah.
was
But
married?
2 different women. He had 2 different kids. He had.
Was he married
He had
to him?
Enrique, and then he has a gay brother who also wanted to be a singer but had no talent. I think his brother's gay. I'm pretty
Enrique's
sure.
brother?
Yes.
I like that we know so much about Julio.
It carries it's right in
That was my
a
big
book.
story about driving Enrique.
I love that you were a
A
van
driver.
driver or whatever
Yeah.
you were.
I was.
So who else do you open? So George Carlin. Then you
Yeah.
opened for Paul Anka.
Paul Anka was a little odd guy.
What do you mean odd?
Odd. He would do things like if he didn't like the color of the stage,
Oh, no.
he would make people paint
Yeah.
the stage.
Oh, that's like Barbara Streisand does
It was
shit
a
like
little
that.
weird. And
Elton
why-
John
did
said
that
he
in
used to
the
do shit
Pocono-
like
In the
that.
goofy Pocono room. We were in the Poconos.
He made them paint the
Paint
stage in
the
the
freaking
Poconos?
stage red because he
Why?
didn't like it. He thought it was ugly. Or
What was the
he-
color it was?
I don't recall. I think it was like a dark
Red
brown
is the
or
worst
something.
color to look
he
at.
wanted to paint it red, and they painted it freaking red.
Elton John said he used to make people change change the color of the whole floor of a hotel
Well, that's
before
weird.
you would check in there.
That is weird.
That's officially
Was
on the
Paul
odd side.
Anka talented, or did they just
He was
play
terrific. He
his
was
CDs?
amazing.
And
No,
did
he
they
was
lip sync?
amazing. He was amazing. Yeah, he could do it. And he played a saxophone at one point. And
I think Paul Anka. Am I wrong about this? Wasn't Paul Anka on The Honeymooners when he was a kid, like
That
when he
I
was
don't
7
know.
years old?
That I don't know.
Somebody was on playing one of those things, and I think it was little Paul Anka.
Okay. Little Paul.
Somebody fact check that
I'll make
in
the-
our
and
who's
send us a
watching it.
note.
Yeah. Let's see if anybody's saying any comments.
So far,
None.
they love Bill Hicks.
There's a book out there
Oh, good.
This
that I
is
recently
hilarious.
just read.
Hey, Danny.
There was a book out there that's all about just basically road stories. Who wrote that? Do you
Mark
know?
Schiff and,
Yeah.
and Rich
Oh, Mark
Scheidner.
Schiff, your
Oh,
buddy.
yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Yeah, we
I
wrote a play
recently
together
read that,
last year.
and it's
Yes.
absolutely hysterical.
What's the name of the book?
Yeah, it's called I
You're
Killed.
in it.
I Killed. Yeah,
It's called
yeah.
I
I Killed?
Yeah.
And it's
And
about
they're
all
just
horrible
very
stories?
short stories. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, we're talking about 3 sentences, some of them, half a page, some of them, and it's literally like 150 comics telling these,
Yeah,
war stories.
It's interesting. It's a good
You know?
bathroom book.
Wait,
Yeah,
Rich Scheidner?
Rich Scheidner.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's basically a collection. I mean, they didn't write
Yeah.
books. They collect
Oh,
Right.
they
stories.
took everybody's
Right.
stories.
Like
what
you
they
gave
do.
a story. You
It's
gave
fun
a
now.
story.
There's no doubt
Really?
it's fun. I mean, there's one with Hicks. He's telling him,
What'd he
him
say?
and the 2 other comics are doing acid at some freaking,
Who and 2 other comics? Hicks,
Hicks.
And the other comics.
And they
Okay.
did
Oh, no, you know,
on
it wasn't, no, it
stage?
wasn't Hicks. It was, he passed away.
The guy with the eyeballs?
Nah,
Wahlberg, Dennis
Dunlop?
Wahlberg.
No, out of Texas.
Oh, it's the
The
guy who
storyteller.
taught all
The
the
storyteller. they
Yeah,
used to call him.
Ron
Ron Schock.
Schock.
Listen to this.
He
Ron
died, Ron
Schock
Schock? I didn't
died?
know Ron Schock died.
Ron Schock
Yeah,
died.
How did he
while
die
ago.
of?
While ago.
Lung
He was
cancer,
very
I
sick
think.
for a while.
I always
Yeah.
thought
Lung cancer.
he was, you know what I liked about him? He didn't do the set of punchline. Like everybody does that. And then he decided, I'm just going to tell long, slow stories.
Yep.
And they're going to be slow. And I'm going to tell them in New York. And I'm going to talk like this. And you're going to have
Yeah.
to wait for a punchline.
Cold in Buffalo.
Yeah, he was
Ball
funny.
chilling cold in Buffalo.
So what happened? He was doing what? He was doing.
Oh, they were doing acid and stuff. These stories are just so great. These road stories.
Right.
They're in this freaking place where everybody's packing guns and saying, "If you're not funny, motherfucker, we're gonna blow your heads off." Because we all decided to trip, on the second night. And the stories are just unbelievable. I was with him one night. I had back surgery and months had passed, and I have all these pills left over. I'm sitting in the green room with Ron Schock, and I'm going, "Hey, Ron, I got all these pills left over. What can you tell me about them?" Because I knew he knew about it. He's going like this. Well, this one here, that's a muscle relaxer, and
This is
one here,
3.5 milligrams
he's
of
going,
oxycodone.
He's going, this one
one
here,
is 1.7.
that's another nut. That's another muscle relaxer. And he goes, I can't tell you what this one
And then
is.
he eats it.
And I'm looking at him like,
Holy shit.
but I'm thinking, he knew it was a painkiller.
Of course
Yeah,
he did.
those back in the day, that was. I mean, I don't know. Are there that many drugs with comics today? It seems like back then it was just like crazy.
I don't think as much today. No way.
Like it was
No.
lewds and they would
it
trip
really
and-
started.
was
I remember a
coke.
great.
A lot of
Coke,
coke.
yeah.
I remember I was telling the story to Billy Guerin about what Mulrooney did down at Borgata.
Oh, tell
okay?
that story.
And I'm talking to Guerin, and Guerin just goes, "Oh man, it used to be like stories went around all the time, all these great stories, and once comics started getting serious, thank God for Mulrooney, man."
Tell the Mulrooney story.
I don't know it
forgot.
100%, but he just got really
I
fucked up
kinda
on the
know it.
first night at Borgata.
Yeah.
And he literally is calling a black guy in the audience a nigger, like, for like the first 5 minutes you don't believe, okay? But he's so fucked up, he's not even registering in his head. And then one of the highest rollers in the casino, a highest slot roller, a woman, he called her a cunt. Okay?
Because he's fucked up.
He's fucked up.
Well, I mean, I won't completely blame him being fucked up. That's probably words he uses.
And literally, when he was
Wait,
finished,
you won't completely blame him?
when he was
I'm
finished,
saying
they
he
immediately
deserves to
made a
be
call.
Wait, what are
I-
we talking about? What?
Well, Mulrooney.
Mulrooney did this?
Yeah.
Wasn't
Sober?
Mulrooney a cop?
No,
He was
he's
completely
fucked up.
drunk.
He's
High,
yeah, he's got,
tripping.
Well, that's
yeah.
what he said anyway.
Supposedly, I heard
He
he,
said
had
he
done,
was
he had done Garvey's cancer drugs that he found in his room or something.
Are you shitting me?
Drugs as excuses always kind of bother me.
I know.
don't-
I
Sorry,
think
John.
that's
I'm not thrilled with drugs as excuses. I got a
So
drug.
what happened?
that's
Okay.
somebody who
As
would
soon
say
as-
that anyway.
All right.
As soon as he finished, Garvey got a call saying, "We
Get him
want
outta
him
here."
out of here. We don't want him off the show for the rest of the week. We want him out of the hotel tonight."
Wow.
But he never left. I heard he was walking around in his pajamas the next day around the casino.
So wait, so he got canned from the show?
He got
Yeah.
canned for the rest of the week, yeah.
Now, Mulrooney put me on his very first late night show. You know?
Yeah, I
that,
remember
right?
that. Yeah.
Mel Rooney.
What do you mean his late night
He
show?
he
got
followed
the-
Joan Rivers.
Yes.
Before
Oh, that show!
Yeah.
You did that
I
show?
did the very first one.
Uh-huh.
He only did like a week, didn't he?
Did
Yeah.
like a month maybe.
Nah, it was only like
Everybody did a
10
week.
shows,
it
I
was
think.
like Arsenio did
Right,
it.
that's right.
Gary Shandling did it.
Right.
Mulrooney did
does
it.
it. He has me on the first night because he's got Chubby Checker.
Oh my
And
God!
I used to
you
do
your
a Chubby Checker
Checker bit.
impression.
I remember
Yes.
that show. Yeah.
So he puts me. I said, John, I'm making fun of him. Now you realize it's a joke about him. It's not with
Not
him.
flattering
It's
him.
not really flattering. He goes, no, I want you to do it. So it was such a struggle to do the bit. 'Cause I didn't really want to hurt his feelings.
Was he on the couch while you did
He was
the
on the
bit?
couch while
Oh,
I
my
did the
God.
Do
bit.
the
So
bit.
I-
Do the bit so people know.
Oh
It's a funny
God,
bit.
I haven't done. This is one bit I haven't done in 5 years. I say, Chubby Checker is a great comic. Come on, baby. Not great comic. Great. He wrote the Twist, right? And his song was the Twist. So he would, no matter where he went or what he did, he would go up to people and say, "Hello, hello, how you doing? My name's Chubby Checker. Hey, where you going? My name is Chubby Checker." So he said, no matter what he did, if he was at a party, he'd go, "Hello, hi, my name is Chubby Checker." He would sing the national anthem. "Well, say, can you see the dawn's early light?"
And you'd be twisting while
So
you
I
did it.
this bit went on and on because it was one of my I lost my mind kind of bit
Right.
where I would love to just kind of kill the audience with it, but I pulled back. Instead of doing all the songs that I was doing, MacArthur's Park is waiting. No matter what, he would say, every song he sang was like the Twist. And no matter how he did, he met people, he sang the Twist. And
It's like absurd.
I pulled back. I just did like
You
a
can't
little
pull
bit.
back.
You can't.
You can't pull back.
Can't pull
And
back.
it didn't get the
Didn't work as
right
well?
response.
Did he say anything to you?
No,
Chubby?
nobody said. Chubby didn't say anything.
Nah.
But because the bit was so mediocre, after I had to take the wind out of the sail of the bit.
Because
So
you were afraid to
I
hurt his
didn't
feelings.
want to.
I don't think it would have hurt his feelings, though.
You're probably right, but I didn't have the balls to do it at the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Or a manager who could have sat down with me
Right.
and advised me.
Right.
It was all on my own, was all thinking for myself. How should I handle this? And I didn't want to mock him.
Now, do you remember
in
when you
front of
did
him.
John's show? Did you have to go through the same crap people have to go through for Letterman show, or?
Yeah, you had to run by material
Yeah.
absolutely.
Didn't he lose that job because he pulled a knife on somebody, or is that a made-up story?
Mel Rooney?
Yeah.
That's a true story.
That is a true
I
story.
don't think it has to do with that show, though.
Wait, who did he pull a knife on? Who
This is
did
a
he pull
completely
a knife on,
different
Danny?
knife story.
What is the story?
I don't. Somebody had a contract with him.
Is this has to do with the late night show or a different time?
All I know is somebody had a contract with him, and he had other opportunities to do other shows, but they wouldn't let him out of the contract that he had with somebody else.
Okay.
So he couldn't do these other shows, and not unless he got out of the contract, whoever had it on him,
Right.
he couldn't move on. So,
So
they went to dinner one night to talk about the contract. He took a steak knife and put it in the guy's throat and said, "You can let me out of the contract."
Did the guy let him out?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you
He
something.
didn't work too much though after
Was
that.
Mulrooney
Mulrooney
a
went a little-
comic? I mean, a cop
Yes.
for a while?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
He's a
How
cop
would
now.
that guy be a cop?
No, he's a cop now.
He's a cop up in
No.
upstate New York, a very small
He
town.
wasn't a cop then.
His-
He was in a
No.
TV show called Uptown North with
He's still a
with
cop.
John.
He is a cop.
But he wasn't back then.
No.
He was
recently
in a-
became one.
Right.
Probably
Remember
about 5 years
Midtown
ago.
North? Midtown North.
Yeah.
Him and Mulrooney. It was Mulrooney and John Manfrotati. They played cops.
Yeah, but he
Oh.
did become
but
a cop.
then he did become that because I
Yes.
couldn't believe he's a cop, especially after what happened at the Borgata.
There was he actually became a cop before that, I think. It's a small time thing that he can go and be a cop like
You
anywhere
mean like
he
a
wants.
he's like a
It's
part-time
small-
cop?
It's a small uptown New York
He's
state.
had more careers. He
Yeah.
was a radio guy. He was a psychic. Did you remember when he was doing
Oh,
psychic
yeah.
work?
Oh,
on
I
the-
forgot about that.
That was
he
fun.
was a psychic.
He had a
He would
radio
go-
show too. Didn't he have a
He
radio
had a
show?
very
Yes.
successful,
The Buzz.
syndicated. He made a
Buzz,
shit ton
it
of
was
money.
called.
Yeah.
He did
Yeah,
it with
he-
Wolf, with Bob Wolf. Is
Well, that was
his name?
another
a lot of
story.
things.
Yeah, those two. What? Somebody fucked somebody's wife. and
Yes.
I don't know what happened, but someone was going to kill someone, and then I got a call from Mulrooney. He goes, "Hey, do you want to do morning radio?" Because I had just gotten out of the morning radio job, and I was like, "Nah, I think I'm done with morning radio." But that got ugly between those two. I
Yeah,
forget
yeah.
what happened.
But he wasn't a psychic, clearly. And
No,
he'd go,
it was the
"I'm
funniest
getting
thing ever.
a hard K sound from you.
That's what they always do.
No, he used to do it at Rascals. He used to practice it at Rascals, a psychic bit.
Yeah.
it was so embarrassing to me.
But would he pretend it was real though? He would.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a
It's
joke.
like there's a,
Oh, no.
there's a
No.
rock in by your house outside, and I'm getting a hard K sound.
There's always a hard K.
Well,
Fuck
this
you.
was always the one. It was like,
Comedians always
I'm
get a
getting
hard
something
case
about
now.
your uncle with fish. He likes to go fishing, and the girl, he's got a fish tank in his house. Yeah, I think
That's
that's
it. That's
That's
it. That's it.
That's it. Oh my God.
Old Patty,
Yes.
Vitali used to do that.
Yeah.
She's the one who
Oh
got him.
yeah, she did used to do
She got
that.
him to doing all that.
And they saw angels and the whole thing.
yeah, I think it was just a routine for his that it might
You know, when
might
you
kick
don't have-
off.
And also,
know?
it's like when you don't want to write new material, right? You could just do that, and people are
Well, he
entertained.
did. Joey Cola's bit Bob Ross.
Yeah, that's great.
Bring it down, bring it down.
Oh,
Put,
yeah,
a, put
yeah.
a little napalm.
Titanium white, titanium
right,
white.
and he'd go off like on the deep end
so
on the.
funny, like he'd been in
Okay.
Vietnam.
I'm watching some late night show and I see Mulrooney doing the bit
No,
to a T. I call up
You're
Cola and I
shitting
go,
me.
Oof.
Cola, turn it on. He's doing your bit, Bob
Really?
Ross bit.
I
Well,
hope
it was
I'm
funny.
running the show.
Him and
because
Vicky-
we're doing
Speaking about guys who made a career on doing
Other
Other
people's
people?
it.
stuff.
What?
Did you do our improv? Were you in our improv group? You were, right?
For like
For-
2 minutes,
for
I
2
wasn't
minutes.
good at it at all.
Oh well, okay, whatever. I'm sure you're not.
you
that's
and
not
Steve,
true.
Steve Heitner,
Heitner,
and Wayne Fetterman,
that's right.
and who else?
And well, Robin Williams used to come and sit in
oh
with
yeah,
us.
yeah, Robin Williams.
So I'm watching.
Idiot!
So I'm watching Robin Williams, one of his many documentaries that have been on the air in the last few years, and it's on Reels, REELZ, that
Yeah, yeah,
station.
yeah.
But I'm watching it, and I'm looking at him, thinking, boy, we had a weird relationship. When he worked here, he was always aggressive on stage, and
Right.
he did some weird shit that I didn't like, and that's so.
He didn't
whatever.
share the stage. He was.
He
the
was a
stage
little,
hog.
he was a little rough with some of,
But he was
some
a
of my
thief.
performers. Not only that, but he was kind of mean. To
Yeah,
the-
yeah.
some of the
People
before-
always
God
say
rest his
he's
soul, and he
some
was
great guy, but
extraordinary
my
guy, but-
impression of him was not as wonderful as everybody else's.
Well, right, because as a real person, he was kind of mean-spirited anyway,
Yeah.
and Machiavellian, to say the least.
Yeah.
He wanted to be a star more than fucking anything.
Right, right.
So he would come in. So I'm watching the documentary, and I'm thinking we had a weird relationship. And then they start showing him doing improv, and I go, yeah, that looks like the comic strip. And wait a minute, shit, that's me. I'm fucking doing improv with Robin and this documentary. I'm like,
Where's the paycheck?
yeah, that's another thing.
Exactly.
I called Richie about it. I said, Rich, anything? And yeah, Steve, come in, I'll put your picture up. So anyway, no, I don't care about that. So I really don't care about the paycheck. But it was so odd that it happened. And then I realized, I started thinking about Robin. When I talked to Dennis Miller about this,
Right.
I asked him, I said, a lot of comics are upset with him about
yeah.
about the whole material thing.
Right.
And
Stole a
Dennis,
lot of shit.
Dennis, who was very good friends with Robin, said that Robin said the reason he took that material is because he was so high during those days that he didn't know where he got it.
Yeah.
And he,
Maybe.
Nah.
I didn't, that's why I'm
Nah.
talking about the whole.
No, I heard
Drugs
people
thing,
wouldn't
I
go
don't
on.
know
People
if
wouldn't
it's-
go on stage.
Yeah,
They
I
did
don't
it in
know.
Rome.
He would come into the Comedy Store in L.A. I remember being there back in 1985, and comics, or 87, whatever it was, and comics would say, Robin's here, I'm
Get
not
out.
going
Right,
on.
that's
Yeah.
right.
They wouldn't go on.
No.
See, I think that maybe you could lift a couple of things and not know, but to have so many people, so many comics say they took like that one guy, Reality What a Concept. That was his. That was the name. That was going to be his. And Robin used it as his album name, Reality, and that was the guy's hook. The guy could never use it after that.
Yeah,
because-
exactly right.
Fleischman?
I forget the
Fleischman?
guy's name. He did Reality.
Who was the
What
guy
a
that did the
Concept.
rabbit? Who did the rabbit
Yeah,
voice?
yeah, that is
Fleischman, yeah.
Fleischman.
I
But
think
was
it was
he the
him,
one who
right?
did Reality? I don't know, but I
remember,
just.
Yeah.
I had Mulrooney and
I gotta
Vicky,
go.
but I
Is
had-
this your?
Well, yeah, we've been on
9:40?
for an hour and a half, but yeah, I'm 9.
You got a
9:20.
spot?
You're 9:40.
Oh.
Oh no, maybe you are 9:20. She is
I am
9:20.
9:20. I have a spot at the comic strip right over there, so I'll be back if you're still here.
Well, wait, don't leave yet. Oh, okay.
You probably have time to. John Fish just went on.
John Fish just
Oh,
went up,
just
so you don't
went
have to
on.
leave.
Okay, all right.
When you see him getting ready, you'll go.
Mulroney and Vicky Potato were doing the same show one
Fish.
night. And I remember Mulroney used to do his bit on Russia on Homer and Yom Kippur and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, Vic's in the middle, and he starts doing all that material. So I go to the green room. I go, hey, John, Mulroney, I got to let you know that Vic's doing this Russia on Homer. And I was just trying to say to John, don't You do it
No.
Right.
as a headliner.
Right.
You know,
'cause he's already done
I don't care who stole what, but I'm just
Right,
letting
right,
them know. And Mulrooney's just like blowing me off, like, yeah, sure, Danny.
Huh?
And at that point, I went, oh, you know why? Because it's
He
fake
stole
material.
it. He
He
stole
took
it.
Vic's.
It's fake.
Right.
Oh my God!
Vic who?
Potato.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Wow.
You never know who
But
did what.
to Robin's credit, I mean, I have to give him his props. After a while, his like second or third special was all his.
Oh, the one where he had all the
But
Perrier waters or
there
whatever.
was a
Yeah.
He
Yeah, I
kind
saw- I
of
He was
him at,
talking about being
he
an
kind of
alcohol,
grew,
drinking, and all
yeah,
that.
And he did a lot of great improv, and
Yeah.
he knew he was an actor. He knew he was an actor. That's what he was doing. He was showcasing to be an actor.
I saw him at Carnegie Hall, and he did like 3 hours.
He did.
Yep.
I mean, wow.
It's amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
Well, maybe if
An
you're
hour and
lifting.
a half of it was yours.
No, it was Mary Catalano's. What was that thing he did? Oh God. Ethel Merman sings
Yes.
surfing songs. Everybody's surfing now. Come on, everybody.
I was thinking
That
about-
was Mary Catalano's bit, and he did it in that movie.
I think one of the greatest entertainment stories is Alan Bursky. Okay.
Oh, fucking Alan.
Freddie
he
Prince's
was a
best
mess.
friend, per
Is
se.
he still a
right?
mess? Is he alive?
I
Yeah,
don't
he's,
know.
No, he's around. He's definitely around.
All right.
Do you ever talk to him?
No, I really didn't know him well. I just had lots of jokes when he did work there. It was just
He was a
hysterical to have
comic,
him.
right?
Yeah,
But then
was- but his claim to fame was it was his gun that killed Freddie Prince.
That is the first thing he
Right.
said to me when I met him,
That's
which
right.
is so weird. He goes, "I'm the guy."
Here's the best part
He's
of this
proud of it.
entertainment
I know.
story, though.
Weird, right?
Crazy.
He's
Yeah.
mental.
When they did, I think this is so funny. When they did the movie on Freddie Prince, he tried out for the part to be himself. And they said no.
Oh, my
That happens more than
An
you.
idiot.
Yeah, I
Are
know,
you-
but it was
right.
pretty funny. Mike Binder played him in the movie.
Here's what
Oh,
I think.
yeah.
I think if you're going to steal someone's material and do it on TV, at least give them a paycheck for it.
I agree with you.
Well,
but
say,
then he
you know
started
what,
to do
here.
that.
He
He
did
started
do
to do
that.
that. If you called Robin, his secretary would. You could just. In fact, people were taking advantage of it. They're going, "Call Robin, you get me $50." Hey, he took my bin, and she would just like write a check.
I know the guy with the reality.
he
What a
was trying.
concept! He paid that guy, and he said he was sorry.
And no matter what you think of him, and
He was
when
gr-
I
I loved him.
found out
Yeah.
how he died, what he went through, I wouldn't wish it on
What
anyone.
did he go through?
He had a form of dementia that was so debilitating that he was seeing things and hallucinating and chasing.
But there was a lot of
No,
there
that
was a lot
was
of depression behind that
Parkinson's.
too, though.
Parkinson's.
It was Parkinson's, but it was also something, not Prader Willi, but it was something, I can't
I
remember
forget
the name.
what
How old
weird
was
thing
he?
it was.
I think he's 3 or 4 years older than me, so he's like 66,
But you
65.
know what? You think about that, like if your quality of life, like of course, I'm no proponent of suicide, but like you
You're
think.
not?
I thought this was a show about proponents of suicide.
But don't you think, like, if that's what you know is your future, that you're just gonna like slip into the abyss of not knowing what the f is going on? That you might go, okay, it's time to check out, or I don't know.
I don't,
Or you wouldn't, 'cause
No,
you
no,
got a
no, no.
kid.
I think no, but I can
He had a kid,
imagine
too.
he would. No, I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
I think he must have been suffering.
Right.
Yeah,
And you don't know if he was in his right mind when he did it,
That's another thing.
right? Anyway,
Yeah.
I have to go out there, but you guys can keep talking.
Yeah, I wouldn't wish what he had. My wife knows a bit more about it. She was explaining it. It sounds torturous.
What he had?
What he had.
I forget what it was. It was some weird thing
dementia.
that I had never ever heard
It's
before.
called Willy Mully something.
Willy,
Willy
Fatty Batty Bumbleaddy.
It's such a lovely little silly disease.
No, it's horrible.
It's horrible. It's really
But
horrible.
also, and he had depression too. Somebody, when I was
there was
watching
a lot of
one of
depression
those
there. I
things.
heard.
a lot
Yeah.
of
I
comics.
forget who loved him. Somebody loved him. Was it Bobcat Goldthwait? Oh no, maybe that.
It
I'm
is
getting them all-
Bobcat. It is
was
Bobcat Goldthwait. They were good friends.
And then I just saw the one about the other guy too, Gary Shandling, and he was another one who kind of had some depression, and
He was a funny guy.
that guy's so funny.
First time I met Gary Shandling, tell my Gary Shandling story.
Yes,
You're the
I want
host.
a
I gotta
Gary
pass
Shandling.
everything by you.
Are you kidding? Tell me a
So
Gary
I
Shandling
meet,
story.
I meet Gary. This is years ago in Atlantic City, and Gary, I generally don't dress up. I had I'm not natty, and so I had a 3-day beard, and I was disheveled, and my hair was all screwed up, and my clothes were wrinkled, and I said, "Oh, Gary, it's so nice to meet you. How you doing?" He goes, "Well, I feel about how you look."
Oh, that's so mean.
So mean.
What did you say?
I didn't know how to deal with it. I
How
thought,
could you
well,
say that? That's
I
so
thought,
Did you say you had
mean.
known him? Did you say
you
you
know
had
what?
known
I
him or
agree
no?
with you. I think it was mean.
It was
but,
me. You know who said
But
that
I
to me?
didn't. I mean, he's a comic, and he knew I was a comic, so I
So
think
maybe he just thought it was funny.
He thought it was funny.
That's what. Who's the guy? With the top hat, and he did magic, and he had a mustache.
Joe
and,
DeLion.
Yeah, Joe DeLion. How'd you know that? That's well, who else?
Trust
So,
me. Give
I
me,
see Joe
give me
DeLion,
one line. I'll tell you who comic
and
it
I
was.
ran into him like years later, and I go, Joe DeLion. I go, oh my God, you look exactly the same. He goes, come on, we both look pretty bad. I was like, what the fuck just happened? I just gave him a compliment, and he just told me I looked like shit. How did that even happen?
He went through,
He
through
took
some hard
my
times.
compliment
What's wrong
and
with him?
threw it back. Yeah. What do you mean he went through hard times?
I remember one time he had Tuesday nights at Rascals every Tuesday, and one time I introduced him, and within 30 seconds he went, "Hey Danny, put the music back on. I got to come and talk to you." Within 30 seconds of the show opening, and he comes back to me. He goes, "I can't go on."
Why?
He wouldn't tell me, but I think it was depression that just completely took over his whole entire body, and he went, "I can't go on."
Yeah,
Oh, you're
well,
shitting me. And then was that forever, or then he got
No,
okay
it
again?
was that night. It was just that night.
Ah.
And, we used him after that, whatnot. But I just remember that night, I'm looking at him like, my first thought is, I don't give a fuck about you and your
Yeah,
problems.
right.
I got an audience out there.
What
Right,
did you
right,
do? Who'd
right.
you put up? Did you have the middle go longer?
No, I canceled the show.
You
It was
canceled the
basically
show?
just him and an amateur on a Tuesday night. It was probably only about 15 people in the room.
Oh, my
So
God.
I just let him go.
There's a lot of comics who have a lot of, what do you call it? Like demons and...
Well, what I didn't like about Gary's remark, although I know he was trying to be funny, you knew I was a comic, and I don't think he meant to hurt my feelings, but it hurt my feelings.
yeah,
a
that
little
would
bit.
hurt my feelings.
And I thought, comics have this like special kind of retardation.
Yes.
For lack of a more politically correct way of putting it, they're socially, they think it's okay to be a comedian even when you're in
Yeah.
A regular situation.
a regular
Yeah.
social situation,
Right.
Where it really shouldn't be the case.
Yeah.
You should be, hello, how are you?
Yes.
My name is Gary. Your name is Steve. Now I'm going to insult you.
I remember
Yeah, give me at least that.
Yes.
the first time I worked with Larry Amorose, he comes down the stairs, Camacho was there, and Camacho introduces me. And Larry Amorose just looks at me and goes, "White in October. Very nice." And walks away.
What in October? Oh, my God. That's so funny and
That's
so
him.
gay.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
it. Yeah. As a matter of fact, he had something on Facebook the other day about Trump being in jail and what's the worst case scenario in jail that he's going to face. And all these people just writing all this stuff about, like, his roommate's name is Bubba, his cellmate is this. And I put on there as my comment. I went, he's going to be in there with you.
Okay.
Larry Ambrose. Oh, my God. Well, he had a good career writing for, what's her name, Joan Rivers.
He's still
he-
working, isn't he? Gary, Larry's
mean
still
as a comic, I think.
as a writer.
Well, he
right?
got in trouble on Arsenio.
Oh, yeah, for
No, but I mean,
ass
he's been-
grabbing or something?
I'm pretty
Ass
sure
grabbing,
he
and it was
punches-
men. It was male models.
Doesn't he punch up? Doesn't he?
He does do punch up, but
In California, I thought
He lives in L.A., yeah. Not that
No?
much.
I think he works for Joy Behar, too, doesn't he?
don't know.
Sometimes. I don't know. Maybe not.
He's a good writer. He should work.
He's very funny.
Yeah.
He's hilarious. All right, let me see if I have any other questions for you boys before. Let's see what I
You prepped
have.
yourself.
I do write some things down.
Occasionally.
Let me see, but we might have already done it.
Well, whatever you want, dear.
Oh, do you want to talk about your show, Married People? Or
Well, yeah, I
Yes.
wrote
are you
a
going to
play.
do
Like
it
that.
again? Are you doing
We're
it again?
trying. Do you know anybody that wants to invest about quarters of a mil?
What about
We need
Jerry
700,000.
Seinfeld, who's a friend of yours? Can you get
Well,
him
Jerry
to do
was
it?
very helpful, very supportive. He gave us some money for when we did the play in L.A.
Was he friends with Schiff,
He's
too?
good friends with Mark. Mark
Okay.
is his opening act. He actually did a little blurb for us.
Well, he did a
been
blurb, but did he give
very
you
supportive.
cash?
He did give us some money.
Oh, he did give you some money.
Yes, he did.
All right.
I gave
And
did you-
$25.
Dan, Danny
Did
gave
you
us-
make money when you did it?
We did really well. We sold out.
Yeah.
But try to make money in the theater. It's
Right.
not easy. We made a little bit of money, but
How many shows did you do?
we did 6 weeks, three.
Wow.
3
Every
a
night?
week. No, three shows a week. So
Okay.
And this is off Broadway.
it's no. This is Los Angeles at the Zephyr Theater. So what would be
Oh.
considered their off?
Oh,
Broadway, I
okay.
guess. And it was a great out-of-town run. We broke records for attendance at the Zephyr Theater. We had great reviews. We had 3 rave reviews.
Really?
Actually. We did. And people seemed to like it. We were going to be held over, but there was a conflict with the theater, so it didn't happen. Now we're just trying to...
What about New York?
What would
you
that
do
cost?
it?
What would that
Trying.
cost to do that in New York now?
We were told like $500,000, but now the price
$500,000?
went up to $700,000.
Why can't you do it someplace smaller in New York? Like, can
Off
you?
Broadway is $500,000.
Are you shitting me?
I wish I was
Yeah.
shitting you.
Well, what about that caveman show? That thing is like running for 8 million years. That caveman show. Why can't?
Yeah, well, that was.
Did that cost him $500,000 to do that?
I don't know what Becker.
Yeah,
Becker, Rob
Beckman,
Becker.
Becker.
He had such a good run out of town. I
Yeah.
think he had a lot of money and backers by the
Oh,
time
all
he
right.
got to New York.
Oh,
I mean,
so-
we had 6 weeks in L.A.
Well, maybe you should do what he did and do it all around the country first.
It's a possibility. Anything's possible. We have a lit agent now. Murray Weiss doesn't get more lit agent than that. Is our lit
Murray.
agent. Murray Weiss is our lit agent, and
Very
he's
nice.
he's moving it around, and we're supposed to find out in the next month or
Oh,
two.
that would be cool.
I would love it.
It would be great if they made a movie out of it, and then you'd be rich for the rest of your
Well,
life.
Jimmy Miller came to our.
I don't know Jimmy Miller,
You
though.
know Jimmy Miller. He
I know the
produced.
name.
He produced Step Brothers.
I love Step Brothers.
Isn't that
It's
the greatest
hilarious.
movie ever?
It is so fucking funny. Me and
right.
Kevin just watched that the other night, and we were laughing
So
our
fucking
asses
funny,
off.
right?
So funny.
Right, I agree. He produced some of the great comedies, but he was one of the producers of Ron Burgundy. That one. He was
That
one of
is
those.
the funniest
Another funny movie.
too. Well, I love what's his name in it.
But Jimmy Miller's Dennis Miller's brother. You know that? You don't
I
know
did
that.
not know that.
Oh, okay.
What was
More
the
information.
story with Dennis Miller's brother and toilet paper?
That I couldn't tell you.
Do you know that story?
No.
Okay, never mind. There's a story. Wait a minute about somebody.
Very Patty Ross.
at
I got to start saying there's toilet paper. I'm sure of that part. Is it anybody?
Oh God! And it's
Can you
with
help
Dennis
me?
Miller
Dennis
and
Miller
toilet
and
paper,
toilet
and he was
paper.
at a. Oh God! And it was a funny story. I just can't remember the beginning and the end. But he was at a.
Charmin convention.
He was.
Some
he was
kind
at a gig, and it was on the road, and the guy made them buy their own toilet paper.
Oh,
Anyway, and,
okay.
and the guy came in to Catch a Rising Star one night, and Dennis Miller ripped him a new asshole from the stage, saying, "Oh yeah, give him a hand, give this guy a hand." I just did his room, and I
him a
told
new
him there's
asshole.
no toilet paper in the condo, and this asshole, because this fucking asshole told me to go out and buy some. And anyway, it was
Wow.
a whole thing about toilet paper. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
That's-
So Dennis Miller's brother.
Richie Miller, who was no, not Richie, Jimmy. He's got 3 brothers. Richie Miller also is a booker.
Oh.
Books clubs.
Okay.
And Jimmy is a big time manager. Managed Jim Carrey.
Oh,
Couldn't-
okay.
Couldn't be bigger.
Right.
And produces movies.
Okay.
Came to see our play.
Okay.
Apparently
He liked it?
Liked it. Tried to set up a meeting. Kept telling us he was going to present our play
Okay.
to his company. And so we waited on that for 3 months.
Okay.
So we did have some interest. It didn't happen. Ultimately, they said no. They looked at the script and said no. They weren't going to do it. But
All right.
we did have some interest
That's
from
cool.
people. Yes, for it to be a film. But that was a waste of time because it just was. For this thing to jump from 6 weeks into Zephyr Theater to a film is quite a task.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we should have set our goals a little lower.
Go on the road.
Well, that's, I think, what we're ultimately going to wind up
Break it
doing.
in all over.
But it's a fun piece.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really fun.
And what did that theater seat?
99 or 80,
Uh-huh.
88.
And
Perfect.
At
And you
89.
pretty much saw all of them.
We sold out. We sold out every show but
And
2.
look at this guy, Matarese.
Joe Matarese is looking through the window. Joe
I haven't seen him in 10 or
Matarese.
15 years.
He's so crazy. I love Joe Matarese. He's out of his
I
mind.
know his name. I don't know his name. Who he is?
You probably
You
work
know
with him.
Joe
You probably
Matarese?
work with him at
I
Rascals.
don't know.
He's very funny. He's very funny.
Well, it was
He-
funny. Eddie Brill was on.
He talks about being medicated all the time.
I remember basically.
and then I guess
they-
Adam's
they
been
used
here
to say that-
for 2.5 hours. We're leaving right after this.
Most people used to say that Eddie Brill was the guy that got comics onto Letterman show.
Yeah.
You know, and somebody was on there. I forget who was on, but the guy had only been in the business 2 or 3 years. And I go to the Dennis Leary roast, and there's an after party, and Eddie Brill's there, and I have quite a few drinks in me, and I'm kind of pissed off that all the guys I know that are strong as can be haven't done Letterman. But this kid that's been in there 2 years in the business, he's getting a spot. So I listen to Eddie Brill like you don't believe. Like, you motherfucker, there's Don Gavin out there. You fucking this and that.
What did he
Gavin,
say?
Gavin deserved it, and Gavin did well.
He did all right, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Gavin's a great guy.
well, I felt bad because I was just smashed. And I just felt like telling somebody off, you know. Eddie's such a great
Eddie's
guy.
a really sweet guy.
You know,
that
That's
is
true.
funny. It is a horrible job to have when you're
Yeah.
in charge of telling
well, then
people.
and you're the nicest guy in the world, which
Well,
he
he
is.
called me.
Yeah.
Eddie called me the next day.
He did? What did he say?
He was just basically telling me about how to get a
How
job
he-
there. And I'm sitting there going, he's calling me, and I was the asshole. What's
That is
going on
bad.
here?
That is
You
bad.
know?
No, he's a sweet guy. But
Oh, he's
yeah,
great.
He got
He's
a lot of
great.
shit for things.
Well,
But
how could you do that job?
But that was
So
funny.
hard.
So
That'd be
I
so
meet. It was so funny because Gavin basically was drunk every single time I saw him. Okay, there's no doubt about that. I used to-
did he stop drinking?
No, Gavin still drank.
Absolutely.
He,
All right.
he couldn't live without it. So what happened was he invited me to be his guest when he was going to do a spot on Letterman. So I meet him outside the door, and he comes walking up. I go, Don. I said, did you drink? I go, did you drink today? He goes, not a drop. I went, what are you nuts?
Nuts?
You haven't been on stage sober in your
Right.
life. Just start drinking, man.
Exactly.
Did
You
he
know?
drink?
I
No, he
agree.
did, and I know him so well. I could see the nervousness in him on stage.
Yeah.
Flubbed a few words, but
Oh,
still,
yeah?
still had a great set.
I didn't see his set.
No, it was good. It was good.
He's really
But
funny.
it was such a tough gig to get. Just the idea of him,
It's the only show I ever wanted to do.
What, Letterman?
Ellie.
Absolutely.
I
But
know
you
a few
did the
guys
Tonight
that said-
Show
I know.
with Johnny. That's
I
like
know,
when the
but I
Tonight
wanted
Show
to do
was.
Letterman. I wanted to do. I told
And did
Alan
you try
Havey-
that out? Did
I
you-
did, and I got close a couple of times.
And what did
then-
Eddie
it was,
turned you down?
It was Morton.
Oh,
No, that's
Morton.
how far back I go.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was up for the show in '88.
Oh,
In 80, after the Tonight Show, I had a shot. I mean, I
Oh.
just did the Tonight Show, but
Okay.
Morton would like you. Anyway, I never got.
So many people used to tell me that by the time they got you two down to your 7 minutes, it wasn't even your act anymore.
Yeah, they
Well,
used to change stuff around.
I
They-
would have done anything to be because I
Yeah.
just thought Letterman was the best, and God bless Johnny, he was great too. But I just loved Letterman.
Letterman was
anyway.
hilarious.
Oh, he was
And-
so.
Yeah, but he
freaking
wasn't
good.
that nice to having comics on the show. I heard.
That's
he
I wouldn't
didn't
care
even
less.
want
He
him on.
could have punched me in the face.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
didn't-
he
Right.
wasn't that
I didn't-
friendly and
I
wasn't
didn't care.
actually even that support. Well, sometimes he would be supportive, but I'm just realizing my Adam probably has someplace to go. We've been talking a blue streak here, but you
have.
guys,
Yeah.
you
It was
guys,
good to see you.
we need to go. But you guys were fucking great. I love seeing you. Thank you so. I know you both live. Where do you live? Fucking far away, and you live fucking far
I'm
away.
15 minutes from the.
You are? I thought you were somewhere in New
I'm
Jersey.
in Nutley.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
that's
not too far from
15
him, actually.
minutes. How
So,
far is that?
If there's no traffic, I can be in New York in 20 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well then.
I took the bus, nice and easy, nice and
You
comfortable.
guys should have gone together. All right. So
Didn't
thank
work
you
out.
so much. I love
Thank you,
seeing
honey.
both
It's so
of
great
you.
to see
It's
you.
so nice.
Pleasure, sweetheart.
Thank
And do you have anything you need to plug that's coming up or anything like
No,
that?
I'm not plugging it. I'm working every week somewhere. A place called Reactors, I think, this weekend in Wilmington,
Okay.
Delaware. So I am. I guess I'm plugging.
All right. And
Right.
Thursday I'm going to be Character Flawed at Dangerfield, Bob DeBono's show, and
Kenny Rogerson wants me to put a plug in for him. He's available.
all right. Thank you, and Adam Hineker.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you so
Adam.
much
Thank
for doing all. Also, we have Patreon if you guys want to. They can donate. We'll take $1. We'll take $1 if you like the show. Give us $1. What's our Patreon thing, Adam?
Patreon.com/.
Patreon.com/chickchat.
Patreon.com/chickchat.
Are you sure it's not going to any of the other chick chats that are out there?
No, because you're
We're the only ones?
You're
We're
the only one.
Patreon.com/chickchat.
Don't-
Once you
donate to these
once you
fantastic
secure the
people.
URL, it goes to you.
All right.
There's no like
And-
discrepancy there.
And please subscribe. It's free to subscribe. And please like us and give us a fabulous review. Guys, I love you both. Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
sweetheart.
much. It was
I
a
love you
pleasure.
right back.
Mwah!
Ah, great
All right.